Apocalypse, start with a firearm, build a tank in 10 days. Welcome back, brave explorers of impossible worlds. We are excited to have you here to continue this odyssey together. Before we continue, everything you'll hear is pure fiction, so please don't try to replicate combat techniques at home. This wonderful story and all its rights belong to its brilliant original author. We are only the messengers of entertainment. Want another dose of adventure? Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss a single chapter, and if you can't wait, our Patreon has exclusive surprises you'll love. Chapter 201 The Sea of Unforeseen. Haha, I want to see how they achieve infinite energy. How could such a thing even exist? On a nearly desolate planet, Wensley piloted a massive dismantling machine, his target a massive, black hole-class starburst battleship before him. Removing his white lab coat, his toned muscles were undisguised. On this planet, where he was alone, he wanted to be his true self and uncover the secrets of this black hole-class weapon. Since returning from the Commander-in-Chief's visit, Wensley had been eager to dismantle the starburst battleship. He believed this near miraculous technology must hold hidden secrets, and he wanted to be the first to uncover them. Almost there, almost. I'm almost there. I'm about to see it. As the dismantling machine dismantled the starburst battleship, the energy core gradually emerged. Wensley was one of the main inventors of the starburst battleship's energy core. He knew the complexity of this energy core, which combined all the energy sources in the universe. However, despite its complexity, his understanding was already well known. With just one glance, he was confident he could spot the difference between a black hole-class energy core and an ordinary one. Once he could discern the difference, it would be easy to gradually explore the technological innovations that resulted from that difference. Then, replicating it would become possible. Then, with a hum, a wave of hot air swept in. The dismantling machine had successfully dismantled the energy core of the black hole-class starburst battleship. As the heat gradually dissipated, Wensley slowly walked in, filled with immense excitement. Like a curious child, he meticulously examined the disassembled energy core, fearing to miss even a single detail. Solar energy, the most basic form of energy concentration, exists. Dark energy is also a very basic form. What is this? Wensley was startled as a somewhat unfamiliar device appeared before his eyes. This piqued Wensley's curiosity, but as he dug deeper, he shook his head in disappointment. I must have been mistaken. Isn't this the planetary energy absorption and conversion device? After investigating each and every one of them for half a day, he was stunned to discover that the energy core of this black hole-class starburst battleship was identical to that of a standard starburst battleship. How is that possible? If they were identical, how does it have unlimited energy? Unless Marshall was lying, it simply couldn't have unlimited energy. Having been so impressed by the two major advantages of the black hole-class starburst battleship, the ability to use no energy storage core and the unlimited use of starburst ammunition, he had subconsciously assumed that this black hole-class starburst battleship had unlimited energy. After all, everything else was already possible, so there was no reason to deceive them. Even if he hadn't said the starburst battleship had unlimited energy, they would have accepted the price. Undeterred, Wensley used the dismantling device to dismantle the starburst energy cannon. Granted, the claim of unlimited energy might be a lie, but the starburst energy cannon, a core skill that didn't require charging, couldn't possibly be a lie. After all, he had seen it clearly. The Starburst Titan fortress was destroyed by the black hole starburst battleship's continuous starburst energy cannon fire. But in the end, the scene that had filled him with despair reappeared. The internal structures of the two were identical. In other words, the black hole-class starburst battleship used the same structure to achieve unlimited ammunition and unlimited energy without charging. It's all dismantled, so the starburst bombs are all I need. With a last glimmer of hope, Wensley disassembled the starburst launcher. Haha, haha, a helpless laugh played on Wensley's lips. How is this possible? This doesn't make sense at all. This doesn't make sense at all. How can the same structure produce different abilities? Is this some kind of miracle? His previous anticipation was matched by his current despair. It felt like a scientific madman, obsessed with absolute truth, obsessed with a piece of high-tech, trying to dismantle it to uncover its true essence, only to discover a god controlling this supposed invention. At that moment, Wensley's cognitive framework, formed over decades, collapsed. A brief study of the various components of the starburst battleship would have been fine. His mind would have rationalized itself under the authority of science. It's like when you think someone is incredibly brilliant and they explain something you're not familiar with. Because of your unfamiliarity, coupled with their perceived authority, even if they might be wrong, you'll try to make them right in your mind. But the problem was, Wensley was incredibly familiar with the Starburst battleship. He knew practically every detail of its construction. He could even build one himself if given the resources and equipment. But the more this was the case, the less room for explanation there was for such truth. It's like how 1 + 1 = 2 on my side, but 1 + 1 = 3 on yours. Within the same framework, there are two different results. If this wasn't divine manipulation, what else could it be? Wensley collapsed to the ground, helpless. He felt that his decades of dedicated scientific pursuits had been a complete mistake. No more research. What the hell? Wensley even vowed to himself, never to touch science again. Is the end of science theology? After this experience, Wensley at least believed it was. However, as he stumbled to his feet, a voice like chanting suddenly filled his ears, and then he felt dizzy. The earth shook, and his vision went blurry and dark. He instinctively reached out, and this action caused Wensley, already dizzy, to feel a sudden palpitation in his heart. The moment he reached out, a massive tentacle grasped his hand. It was a touch so real, so cold, yet so slimy. "Come with me, and find peace in the undeserved sea," he thought he heard the voice, along with the chanting. He wanted to lift his head to see the man's true face, but his head felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds, and he couldn't lift it. It was an indescribable fear. The blurry, dark scene before him suddenly turned blood red, and the chanting in his ears slowly faded to the crashing of waves. Wensley shuddered. He stretched out one hand, but the other rested on his neck, struggling desperately. According to the diagnosis, researcher Wensley, "It's drowned," a voice in a white uniform spoke seriously and rigorously, looking at the chief. But while there was a puddle of water under his feet, the outside was barren. How could there be water to drown him? Chapter 202 Can I give you jewelry? After burying Wensley, Zai Hao Zilong ordered the planet sealed off. All resources, precious or not, were sealed away. After tens of millions of years, it reappears, Zai Hao Zilong declared firmly, convinced that his suspicions were correct. They matched the ancient text perfectly. The water stains surrounding the corpse, the stiffened arm stretched out, the hand gripping its neck, and the withered body, as if its soul had been drained away, all these visible clues matched the events described in the ancient text. The Wu Wang Sea, a dark zone, is said to be visible only to those who glimpse the ominous. What exactly did Wensley do? The old lieutenant frowned, unsure what to do. Could it be related to this Starburst battleship? The old man looked at the Starburst battleship, but even though it was parked there, it was perfectly intact, unharmed. How could it possibly be connected to Wensley's death? Indeed, just as they had seen, the Starburst battleship showed no signs of dismantling, remaining intact on this desolate planet. The unforeseen sea has appeared, so the Holy Child's birth is imminent. Could the tragedy of millions of years ago be repeated? Zai Hao Zilong ignored the old man's words, instead speaking on his own, his eyes filled with resentment. "I haven't reached the other side of deep space yet. I still want to see her. I can't die like this." A hint of fear slowly emerged in the man's eyes, a glint rarely seen on Zai Hao Zilong's face. The old adjutant naturally saw it too, but he deliberately turned his head away, pretending not to notice. However, the silent sigh almost betrayed him. The old man deliberately tried to keep his expression casual, then spoke in a more relaxed tone, "Perhaps this was just a murder. After all, Wensley has been arrogant for so long, and many people have long considered him a thorn in their side. Framing this on an unprovoked disaster not only diverts attention but also helps clear the real murderer." "Don't let me hear the word unprovoked disaster again," Zai Hao Zilong suddenly said coldly. "It seems we need to speed up." Zai Hao Zilong decisively left. The old adjutant watched his hurried back, letting out a long sigh, unsure what else to do. Ultimately, he could only follow him, like a tailback. All dressed up, their destination, the Miss Desire City auction house. Lin Nan was in high spirits today. Nanazi's exquisite makeup had elevated his looks to a whole new level. He hadn't expected himself to be so handsome. It was clearly all thanks to Nanazi, and after the makeup, Lin Nan looked like a completely different person. After several wormhole jumps aboard Marshal Su's aircraft, they soon arrived at the city of Miss Desire. As befits the intersection of numerous trade routes, it was a bustling scene. Here, Lin Nan witnessed a clash of cultures, the blending of civilizations from various planets, creating a harmonious aesthetic within the city of Mist Desire. Here, Lin Nan also encountered some true aliens, whose appearances were fundamentally different from carbon-based humans. There were slug-like aliens, bird-like aliens covered in feathers, and creatures similar to those seen before, mechanically constructed. Of course, there were even more bizarre villages. There were lizard men covered in glowing green, and mermaids that walked upright with gels on their faces. Lin Nan had never seen so many aliens anywhere else, but he saw them all in the city of Mist Desire. This clearly demonstrated the extraordinary status of the city of Mist Desire, a metropolis in the interstellar world. In some ways, the status and power of those in the city of Mist Desire was comparable to that of the governor of a star region. After disembarking from the aircraft, they arrived at their hotel without much delay. Since the auction wouldn't start until the evening, Lin Nan went for a solo stroll, not intending to be a third wheel for Su de Shui and Nanazi. This place is so nice, let's go buy them some local specialties. Lin Nan headed towards the busiest area. There, he spotted a jewelry store that looked like Star Brand. There was a poster of a beautiful woman. Although Lin Nan didn't recognize her, he suspected she must be a celebrity. A crowd surrounded her. They chanted the woman's name, Yinger, Yinger, we love you, Yinger. Seeing the fans so excited, Lin Nan was curious about who she was, and why she was so popular. However, not a fan of celebrity chasing, he didn't feel like exploring the situation. He turned to leave when the crowd roared again. Many more people continued to squeeze in. Wow, this is so beautiful. That's right, if someone gives me a star sea sorrow, I'll marry them. You keep your word, I'll go buy it right now. Oh, forget it, 2 million star coins is so expensive, it's a ripoff. Lin Nan heard people in the crowd talking about jewelry, and judging by their reactions, it seemed like it was something extraordinary. Excuse me, Lin Nan wanted to go in and take a look, but accidentally stepped on the foot of her little girl next to him. Sorry, Lin Nan apologized quickly. The girl was good-tempered, but perhaps hurt by Lin Nan's step. She didn't say anything, but her eyes suddenly became tearful. She looked very adorable. Sorry, do you like that jewelry? I'll buy it for you right now as an apology, okay? Lin Nan's straightforward attitude stunned the girl and everyone else. Initially, they didn't take this minor friction seriously, but when Lin Nan said he would buy her jewelry as compensation, everyone's eyes were on him. This guy probably doesn't know the price of jewelry over there. Any single piece is worth millions of star coins, so, if I step on someone, I'll give them jewelry worth millions. If that's true, please don't hesitate to step on me. I'd like to sleep in the ground with these jewelry. Haha, you're stupid, right? But I have a feeling that guy's so handsome, he must be very rich, but he wouldn't be so rich as to give away jewelry worth millions. He probably doesn't know the price. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 203 Buying Jewelry. Sir, are you planning to buy our jewelry for this beautiful girl? A nearby salesperson noticed the situation and immediately seized the opportunity. Regardless of whether or not the girl could afford it, at least she had the intention. Lin Nan nodded, then grabbed the girl and walked over. Everyone's eyes were on them. Because celebrity Liu Ying was advertising in the front, the back sales area was relatively quiet, mostly coming to see their idol. The girl whose foot had been stepped on was also bewildered. Adding to her bewilderment, Lin Nan was holding her hand and offering her jewelry worth millions. This further bewildered her. Lin Nan was also a little confused. Those words were definitely spoken after he saw the girl crying in pain, wanting to make amends. And since there was a jewelry store nearby, Lin Nan blurted them out. Even then, he felt a little inappropriate. Jewelry wasn't something you could just give away casually. Oh, whatever. A piece of jewelry was only a few million star coins anyway. So cheap, it wasn't a big deal. For Lin Nan now, anything less than 100 million wasn't much. After all, he was now a man with a net worth of 100 trillion. See if there's anything you like? Take your pick. It's my way of apologizing. The girl, whose tears had been stepped on, seemed speechless, staring blankly at Lin Nan, speechless and motionless. Seeing her silence, Lin Nan glanced around. Through the glass of the reception desk, He could clearly see a strikingly beautiful woman on the stage in front of him. In her hand, she held a necklace encrusted with a dazzling sapphire. "That's nice." The radiant sapphire, as if plucked from the stars, captivated him with a single glance. Hearing Lin Nan's words, the girl furtively turned her head and glanced at the necklace, her eyes sparkling with a different kind of light. But soon, the light in her eyes dimmed. "Brother, Lan can't have it. I taught me not to take other people's things. Lan is fine. If Lan leaves, I'll be worried if I can't find her." The girl spoke in a naive voice, like a child who hadn't grown up. It was strange to think of someone who stood there crying without saying a word after being stepped on. "It's okay, it's not worth much. Just think of it as making a friend." Lin Nan smiled. His handsome appearance and charming smile stunned the girl named Lan. However, although Lin Nan said the jewelry was worthless to reassure Lan, his words were unintentional, but his words were intentional. Some boys who couldn't afford it felt a little upset when they heard Lin Nan say this. "This guy looks like a broke bastard. Do you know what that is? How could our idol Liu Ying personally hold and display something like this? That's the whisper of the star goddess, worth tens of millions of star coins. He clearly hasn't seen the world," someone else said. "Don't worry. He'll be in trouble when the salesperson quotes the price. I bet he'll be visibly upset." "Haha, now that you mention it, I'm actually looking forward to it." Suddenly, even more eyes were focused on Lin Nan. Even the famous star Liu Ying, who was giving a presentation on stage, noticed this. After all, as an entertainer, she was always keeping an eye on the audience. Meanwhile, the salesperson next to Lin Nan had a slightly grim expression. This was due to her own personal qualities. She felt that speaking out might embarrass Lin Nan, so she leaned over and whispered in his ear, "Sir, that's the whisper of the star goddess, worth 99.99 million star coins." Upon hearing the price, Lin Nan couldn't help but raise a brow. The price was definitely not expensive. In fact, it was a drop in the bucket for Lin Nan. But that didn't mean he had lost his sense of price. To him, it was definitely expensive, even astronomical. If he gave such an expensive item to a girl, she might not even want it. Thinking of this, Lin Nan smiled and said to the saleswoman beside him, "You did the right thing." The saleswoman smiled back, assuming Lin Nan was just as she expected, thanking her for saving his face. Little did she know that Lin Nan was actually thanking her for not revealing the real price, thus preventing the girl from rejecting it. The people didn't see the embarrassment they expected. Instead, like the saleswoman, they were stunned by Lin Nan's words. "Only tens of thousands of star coins. That's a steal. Pack it up for me." "What, tens of thousands of star coins? That's the whisper of the star goddess, worth tens of millions, almost hundreds of millions. How could it be tens of thousands of star coins in his mouth?" The saleswoman thought Lin Nan hadn't heard clearly and wanted to repeat herself, but Lin Nan smiled earnestly and said, "You don't have to tell me, I know." Then, she handed him a card. This card was given to him by General Su, and it was linked to the account on the bracelet. Seeing Lin Nan's expression, the saleswoman instantly understood. And so, to everyone's astonishment, she actually took the card. Before they could recover from the shock, a moment later, the saleswoman returned with the card, beaming. She must have been delighted. The commission from this single sale would be enough for her annual income. Everyone also realized one thing: the card swipe was successful. He had truly paid nearly 100 million star coins for a stranger. This was lavish. This was truly lavish. And what was even more shocking was that after Lin Nan took the card, he actually said, "Jewelry this cheap isn't easy to find. Do you have any left? I'd like to buy a dozen or 20 for my family." Does that even sound human? Is it hard to find something this cheap? Buying a dozen or 20 for family? The onlookers were practically gobsmacked. And then, they realized why Lin Nan went to so much trouble. Wasn't it because he was worried the girl wouldn't want them because they were too expensive? Oh my god, this guy is really rich. Come on, trample me to death, I'm serious. Hey, where are you going? I'm going to stand behind him, maybe he'll step on me. Oh my god, you're so mean. Wait for me. Suddenly, a crowd of people gathered behind Lin Nan. It was like a star-chasing scene. If you didn't know better, you might think another big star had arrived. The saleswoman, upon hearing Lin Nan's words, said apologetically, "Sorry, sir, that piece of jewelry is a one-of-a-kind piece, but you can take a look at the others." With that, Lin Nan was led to the front, not far behind Liu Ying. There, precious jewelry awaited introduction. Not bad, wrap it all up, Lin Nan said calmly. Chapter 204 Goodbye Melissa. Lin Nan's words were a casual understatement, but everyone around them was practically stunned. He was actually going to buy all the treasures. There were even many celebrities Liu Ying hadn't introduced yet. The celebrity meet and greet was originally intended to promote these precious trinkets. If Lin Nan really bought them all, the event would essentially be over. But it had only just begun. The saleswoman was still dazed, but Lin Nan waved his hand in front of her, and she finally realized what was going on. Oh, sorry, sir, I was distracted. I need to confirm with you again. Do you want to wrap up all 13 precious trinkets at the front desk? Lin Nan nodded again. Yes, I want them all wrapped up. Okay, then sir, please sit down and wait a moment. I'll go and help you wrap them up. With that, the saleswoman smiled at Lin Nan and, without looking back, walked towards a man. Lin Nan turned to look at the still dazed girl, puzzled. Why aren't you wearing it? Don't you like it? The girl quickly shook her head. No, it's not like that. I just didn't feel it was necessary. You stepped on me, and although it hurt, so, I know that kick was a bit heavy, so I wanted to make it up to you. Besides, I really believe in fate. You know, you look like me, or, my late wife. Anyway, just accept it. Lin Nan's words were half-truth. The lie was that Lin Nan didn't have a wife, but the truth was that this girl looked exactly like a woman. It was Melissa. The scenes on the mechanical constructor's planet, in the metal box, still lingered in Lin Nan's mind. Although he knew it was a dream, the experiences they had shared felt incredibly real. And in this illusory yet real experience, Lin Nan had fallen in love. If they had continued living in that seemingly unreal world, then Melissa would have become, or already had become, his lover. But reality was reality after all. That's why Lin Nan said that the girl looked like his deceased wife. Deep in love, he couldn't help himself. Lin Nan wanted to reach out and touch the girl's face, but at this moment, his danger perception skill kicked in, and Lin Nan felt the danger coming towards him. He subconsciously dodged, but the other party was so fast that Lin Nan was almost hit in the face. What a scumbag, you actually want to seduce my sister. Do you want to die? A sharp female voice suddenly rang out. Lin Nan looked up and found a woman standing next to the girl. The woman was very pretty, holding a scepter in her hand. At this moment, she was looking at Lin Nan with great anger. Lin Nan was also very angry, wondering who dared to attack her. But in the instant he looked up, Lin Nan was stunned. Seeing his expression, the woman said disdainfully, "What? Do I look familiar to you? Tell me, do I resemble your deceased wife? What era is this? And scumbags still use such lame rhetoric to woo women. Sister, it's not like that." A little girl named Lin Nan called her sister and stopped the woman from continuing her attack, saying, "This guy accidentally stepped on Lin Nan and hurt her. He even bought her a necklace worth tens of thousands of dollars, you little fool. You're bribed by just a few tens of thousands of dollars worth of jewelry," the woman scolded. But when she saw the necklace in Lin Nan's hand, she froze for a moment. Clearly, she was an expert. With just a glance, she knew this piece of jewelry wasn't worth a few tens of thousands of star coins. At this time, the people on the side could not help but whispered, "That's not just tens of thousands of star coins, that's the whisper of the star goddess worth 99.99 million star coins. There is only one such thing in the entire universe." That's right, this little girl is really kept in the dark. The woman had excellent hearing and naturally heard their discussion. Her eyes subconsciously fell on the necklace again, and then she looked at Lin Nan strangely. The latter was still dazed. Seeing the woman looking at him, Lin Nan finally snapped out of his trance. He said to the woman with immense surprise, What a coincidence. I didn't expect to see you here." Then, Lin Nan looked at the girl named Lin Nan. "This is your sister. I was wondering how you two looked so alike." The woman was stunned. "What? You really thought I was your late wife? I'm telling you, don't think you can seduce my sister just because you have some money. Take your bracelet and get the hell out of here." The woman wanted to curse even harder, but the words were on the tip of her tongue. Lin Nan's eyes were peculiarly strange. His slightly red eyes held a hint of joy at a long-awaited reunion. This made the woman feel as if she were truly his late wife, but upon reflection, she realized she had never seen this man before. For some reason, as she recalled this, a figure suddenly popped up in her mind, and her heart trembled violently. but she ultimately sighed inwardly, and subconsciously, the woman touched her belly. Lan, let's go. This kind of person has bad intentions. With that, the woman tossed the necklace at Lin Nan. Lan said nothing, standing obediently beside the woman, about to follow her. But then, Lin Nan suddenly called out, "Melissa, it's me. Don't go." Yes, Lanlin's sister was none other than Melissa. What a fate. Lin Nan had never expected to see Melissa in this place. She was still as beautiful as ever, though a faint trace of fatigue, a weariness that couldn't be masked by her makeup, could be seen. Melissa, too, was stunned by Lin Nan's call. She stopped in her tracks. Though Lin Nan's appearance had changed, and her voice had undergone a simple shift, that call was clearly more than that. It was so familiar. In her dreams, that call had echoed countless times in her ears. In Melissa's mind, the image of the man she had rejected became increasingly clear. She had only lived with him in dreams, but at this moment, his voice, appearance, and smile haunted her. Lin Nan saw her stop, and the corners of his mouth curled up. Just as he was about to approach, Melissa started moving again. For some reason, she waved her hand, as if to escape, and a portal appeared before her. Then she hurried away, dragging Lan with her. Chapter 205 Elements of Sequence A. Lin Nan's outstretched hand froze in midair. His expression shifted from gloomy to gloomy. Why? Why are you avoiding me again? Do you really not want to see me? Lin Nan was convinced that Melissa must have recognized him, but he couldn't figure out why she didn't want to see him. Sir? Sir? Just then, a familiar voice rang in Lin Nan's ears. Lin Nan instinctively turned his head and saw the saleswoman, accompanied by a man who was the organizer of the exhibition. He was shocked to hear that someone wanted to buy all 13 pieces of jewelry on display, worth over 1 billion star coins. He followed with excitement and a hint of suspicion. Seeing Lin Nan turn around, the saleswoman hurriedly introduced, "Hello, sir. This is the person in charge of our exhibition." Lin Nan had no intention of interacting with them at the moment, but he nodded at the person anyway. Then he looked at the saleswoman again. "How are the jewelry? Have you packed them up?" The saleswoman was stunned for a moment, and just then the person in charge spoke up. "Well, sir, since this exhibition is mainly for display, we're mainly here to enjoy the display of superstar Liu Ying. Most importantly, we didn't expect a top-tier young man like you to come and buy directly from us." So, Lin Nan saw that he had been talking a lot, and he became a little impatient. Then he asked calmly, "Can you get to the point?" "Yes," confirming that Lin Nan really wanted to buy. The person in charge hurriedly said, "The point is, we may have to wait until superstar Liu Ying's display is over before we can sell to you. Otherwise, there will be nothing worth showing, and Liu Ying's appearance will end. The audience will be unhappy then. Besides, many of your fans have traveled from far-flung planets. I don't think you want them to make a wasted trip." The manager was actually quite frustrated. If Liu Ying truly left, it would undoubtedly hurt the fans. While they would secure Lin Nan's multi-billion-dollar order, they would lose a significant number of potential customers, made up of these fans. And if they satisfied these fans, those multi-billion-dollar orders might be lost. This was the dilemma facing the exhibition manager. "Fine, I don't mind. Just deliver it to my hotel after the exhibition," Lin Nan said nonchalantly. However, this statement stunned both the saleswoman and the manager. These were jewelry worth over $1 billion, yet he treated them as such, like a food delivery service. Oh my God, was this what rich people do? Lin Nan noticed the change in their expressions and asked, perplexed, "Why? Is it impossible?" Sure, the exhibition manager nodded frantically. "Don't worry, our delivery team is very professional. We can even deliver to any part of the universe if you wish." Hearing this, Lin Nan was stunned. "We can deliver anywhere." He sounded quite arrogant. Could it even reach Earth? Of course, Lin Nan was just grumbling inwardly. He absolutely couldn't reveal the Earth's coordinates. "No thanks, just deliver it to this hotel and this room," Lin Nan said, writing down his hotel address and room number on a piece of paper. After this, Lin Nan pulled out his bank card. Only after the payment went through did the exhibition manager and the saleswoman finally breathe a sigh of relief. It was all real. The completion of this order held immense significance for the two professionals. Although Lin Nan had a lot of money, they understood their joy. "Alright, I'll be leaving now." With that, Lin Nan was about to leave. "Sir, please stay." The exhibition manager stopped Lin Nan and winked at the saleswoman nearby. who immediately understood and headed back inside. Lin Nan paused. Anything else? Well, sir, given the significant amount of money you're spending, it perfectly meets the requirements for one of our events, the exhibition manager explained softly. Just then, the saleswoman ambled out, carrying a wooden tray with a dozen small wooden boxes neatly arranged on it. As she approached the salesperson, he pointed to the boxes on the tray and said softly, "So, you can randomly pick one from these boxes. They haven't been tested, but they're confirmed to contain precious gemstones. Of course, we could be mistaken and some may be empty." Gambling on stones, Lin Nan was stunned. This activity was remarkably similar to gambling on stones back on Earth. Gambling on stones, it's quite similar to the literal meaning. The salesperson clearly had no idea what gambling on stones was, but from the literal meaning, she understood Lin Nan's thoughts. Lin Nan nodded, but he had little interest in this kind of activity. "Let's leave it to someone else." "I'm not interested." Lin Nan smiled and turned away, leaving the manager and the saleswoman staring at each other in bewilderment. Is this what a rich man looks like? They've said these wooden boxes contain raw gemstones, perhaps even gemstones as valuable as the finest jewelry. But Lin Tuheo wasn't interested at all. "I advise you to go back and take a look. There's top-grade Sequence A elemental material inside." At this moment, Yellen, who had been silent for a long time, suddenly spoke within Lin Nan's mind. "Sequence A elements? Are you serious?" Lin Nan was stunned. "Sequence A elements are precisely those resources starting with A? You're so kind to tell me this." Lin Nan was a little surprised. He hadn't expected Yellen to be so kind as to remind him. "I just don't want to see the treasure right before my eyes and miss it because of my ignorance," Yellen said calmly. Despite being called ignorant, Lin Nan didn't get angry this time. He quickly turned around and stopped the saleswoman who was about to go back with a wooden tray. Wait a minute, I want to take another look at the raw gemstones in those wooden boxes." The person in charge and the saleswoman saw that Lin Nan had left but not completely left. They couldn't help but smile at each other. Of course, they felt funny and didn't mean to look down on Lin Nan. "It's okay, sir, just pick one." The saleswoman looked at Lin Nan and smiled. Lin Nan's eyes swept back and forth on the wooden tray. At Yellen's reminder, Lin Nan chose the most inconspicuous one. The exhibition manager saw that Lin Nan had chosen that one and frowned. "Xiaoling, didn't I tell you before? I want to help this gentleman choose some that look better. Why did you bring out this kind of stuff?" Chapter 206 Yelling's Superpowers. The saleswoman nearby turned out to be Xiaoling. Hearing the manager's words, Xiaoling felt a little aggrieved. "Manager, you asked me to add some good ones for this gentleman to choose from, but if I'm going to add anything, it can only be this kind." It turned out that the piece Lin Nan had picked up wasn't a good item, judging by its appearance. Of course, the exhibition manager was only considering the appearance. He didn't have golden eyes and couldn't see the true situation inside. "It doesn't matter, I don't care anyway," Lin Nan said with a smile. But while he said he didn't care, he cared more deeply than anyone else. After all, this was a Sequence A element. Although it was only the size of an adult's finger, its rarity made it valuable, which only highlighted the preciousness of the piece in Lin Nan's hand. After receiving the treasure, Lin Nan didn't linger for long, but turned and left. The two of them stared at Lin Nan's back for a second, stunned. In their eyes, Lin Nan had picked the worst piece and treated it like a treasure. Lin Nan, disinclined to continue strolling, quickly asked, "Since it's a Sequence A element, what exactly is its use?" Yellen pondered for 2 seconds, then said, "Sequence A elements are beyond the control of technology. You can think of them as falling from the bodies of gods. They possess strange powers." "Huh?" Lin Nan subconsciously paused after hearing this. He stared at the element, encased in ordinary stone, puzzled. "You say it possesses strange powers? Just how strange are they?" Yellen pondered for a moment, then said in a deep voice, "In our universe, this Sequence A element is used to activate ominous evil. Anyone who possesses it will be drawn to the evil around them." Holy crap! Hearing that it was an evil object, Lin Nan was stunned. "You're not lying to me, saying it's an evil object, and then I throw it away and you pick it up again?" After hearing Lin Nan's words, Yellen curled his lips helplessly. "I'm trapped in the sea of consciousness by you, and I can't get out. How can I pick it up again?" "That's true. But how do you know this is a Sequence A element? Don't tell me this is your superpower," Lin Nan asked. Yellen smiled helplessly again. "You guessed right. My ability is to sense the reactions of the elements around me. I've seen many elements since I was a child, so it's no surprise that I can accurately identify each one, and I think you'll be wondering, since Sequence A elements are so strange, where have I seen them before? I can tell you without exaggeration that in our universe, there's an ancient battlefield where many powerful beings are buried, and that's where I saw them. To be more precise, I felt them, because I've never actually seen such an element before. And that was under my father's guidance. He told me that the element that gathers the resentment of so many undead is Sequence A. That's the main reason I told you. I want to see what a Sequence A element looks like, too. Yellen spoke a lot, and Lin Nan became increasingly shocked. He subconsciously examined the stone encased element in his hand and fell into deep thought. Inspiring ominousness, gathering the resentment of the undead. How could such a strange element exist in this world? Hearing you say that, I almost want to throw it away. You even said you've never seen one in your life? Oh, damn my luck, but I never want to see it again, Lin Nan said helplessly. Why keep something like this around? Is it going to bring bad luck? Lin Nan didn't want it to stay with him for a moment, and as he spoke, he wanted to throw it away. And Lin Nan did just that. With a graceful parabola, the Sequence A element in Lin Nan's hand was directly thrown into the nearby lake. This. You actually threw it away, Yellen exclaimed in shock. Why keep it if you don't want to throw it away? Do you really want to worship such an evil thing? Lin Nan said disdainfully. Yellen wanted to say something else, but he suddenly shut his mouth. Lin Nan didn't see that Yellen's expression of pity was gradually changing into a smile. Seeing Yellen fall silent, Lin Nan spoke again. Why didn't you tell me about such a great ability earlier? If I have any valuable resources around me in the future, don't hide them. Don't worry, I won't treat you unfairly. Who knows, I might even let you go one day if I'm so pleased. Are you serious? Yellen exclaimed excitedly. Although he didn't know whether Lin Nan's words were true or not, he had always believed that from now on, he would be trapped in this dark sea of consciousness for the rest of his life. Lin Nan's words might seem like they were draining the value of his labor, but at the same time, they also gave him the desire to live. Don't worry, I will help you well, but please don't break your promise, Yellen added. Don't worry, Lin, always keep my mouth shut. Lin Nan patted his chest. Yellen disagreed. By the way, let me tell you something. It's not that I didn't mention it before, but I just discovered that the Sequence A element seems to have returned. What? Lin Nan was stunned for a moment. Then, just as Yellen had predicted, he discovered the wet Sequence A element lying quietly in his shirt pocket. This is truly bizarre. Unconvinced, Lin Nan tossed the stone containing the Sequence A element back into the water. He quickly fled, constantly checking his pockets. This time, the Sequence A element didn't appear. Finally, Lin Nan breathed a sigh of relief. At the hotel entrance, he ran into General Su. Naneko wasn't with him. Why are you alone? Where is your sister-in-law? When General Su saw Lin Nan coming, he immediately showed a knowing smile. Nana went to the Star Mall to buy clothes. You know, I hate shopping with women the most. Hearing the name of the Star Mall, Lin Nan was stunned for a moment. Because he suddenly remembered that the mall where he bought jewelry and met Melissa seemed to be called the Star Mall. However, Lin Nan did not say anything. After all, there was nothing to say. However, when Lin Nan was distracted, he suddenly felt something was wrong, because he suddenly felt a little heavy in his shirt pocket. Lin Nan subconsciously stretched out his hand. He didn't dare to look down to see if his pocket was bulging. As his hand gently entered his pocket, a voice sounded in Lin Nan's ear. Brother Lin Nan, why are you picking my pocket? Chapter 207. A strange coincidence. Oops. Sorry, I was just trying to reach into my pocket. Lin Nan quickly pulled his hand out of Marshal Su's and reached into his own. But the moment his hand reached into his pocket, his heart skipped a beat. Holy crap. It's actually back. Yes, the Sequence A element had returned, now nestling peacefully in Lin Nan's pocket. Yellen, system, what should I do? Lin Nan felt completely glued to him. Neither the system nor Yellen spoke, clearly unsure of how to resolve the situation. Yellen, you just said this element can trigger ominous signs. Are you sure? Lin Nan asked again. Yes. Absolutely. Yellen gave Lin Nan a resounding yes. He didn't explain why he was so sure. Brother Lin, what's wrong with you? Are you feeling unwell? Just then, Marshal Su's voice suddenly rang in Lin Nan's ears. Lin Nan snapped back to reality, feeling strangely cursed. Eventually, Lin Nan finally convinced himself to let it go. It wasn't a big deal. Since it could trigger something ominous, he could just destroy it when the time came. Thinking of this, Lin Nan gradually began to feel at ease. He turned to look at General Su, who was concerned about him, and said calmly, "Nothing. Just a small problem. Anyway, it's resolved. The auction is about to start, right? When should we go in?" General Su nodded slightly. "It's indeed about to start. I just talked to Nanako and told her to just wait there, then what are we waiting for? Let's go." With that, the two of them boarded a flying vehicle and flew to a prestigious interstellar hotel, Rugia Hotel, where the auction was being held in a large reception room. Once there, Lin Nan finally understood what high society meant. Everyone here was dressed in lace and long, embroidered dresses. Just one glance at them revealed their innate, unique charm, the product of the wealth and power accumulated by these multi-billionaire tycoons. It was obvious that many of them knew each other. Even Marshal Su had many acquaintances here, but to protect Lin Nan, he stayed by her side the entire time, never leaving. This made everyone, consciously or unconsciously, scrutinize Lin Nan. After all, they could sense the extraordinary bond Marshal Su held between them and them. Speaking of which, Marshal Su, having traded arms throughout the universe, had amassed considerable wealth, making him something of a jebel here. While Marshal Su appeared to be an equal to Lin Nan, they were no fools and could sense the importance he held her in. "Marshal, you haven't introduced us yet? Whose family is this young man next to you?" As he spoke, a somewhat elderly man approached, holding a glass of blue fruit wine. Beside him, a young woman affectionately held his arm. At first glance, she might have been his daughter, but she was actually his lover. Customs varied from planet to planet. For elderly men, having a lover, or having their wife be someone else's lover, was considered a matter of great honor. The lady greeted General Su with a warm greeting, and did the same to Lin Nan. General Su nodded slightly, looking at Lin Nan and explaining, "This person isn't the son of some jebel family, but my boss, the newest boss of a conglomerate in our star region." General Su's words were quite high-sounding, but such high-sounding statements always felt like showing off, since chaebols were plentiful here. However, they also knew that General Su wasn't one for showmanship. His words, intentionally or not, hinted at the importance of this person, someone they couldn't afford to mess with. What shocked them most was that General Su, a fellow jebel, addressed the other person as his boss. The boss of a jebel, that was something worth pondering. After General Su's introduction, even more people focused their attention on Lin Nan. Lin Nan was speechless. He didn't understand what General Su was trying to do. This wasn't the way to build momentum. Marshal Su naturally saw Lin Nan's confusion. He showed no regard for the feelings of those around him and explained directly, "Boss, you can't be so low-key right now. I acted on my own initiative, but it's for everyone's good. After all, the auction is about to start. If you have something you like and someone bids against you, I'm letting them know the rank of their bidders. This way, they won't drive up the price too high, which would be detrimental to everyone." Everyone heard Marshal Su's words, and Lin Nan understood. Although Marshal Su had lowered his status by claiming to be his own employee, he was actually using his status to highlight his own. To put it bluntly, he was building momentum for the upcoming auction. This way, if someone obediently followed Marshal Su's advice, they would voluntarily give up when bidding against Lin Nan. Even if they struggled, they wouldn't be able to raise the price much, and they would actually be doing Lin Nan a favor, saving him from wasting money. On the other hand, if they refused to listen and insisted on challenging Lin Nan, they would be left to endure the unilateral slaughter of the capitalist tycoons. Because, every single one of those present, even if they were all chaebols, couldn't match Lin Nan's wealth. After all, even Marshal Su, as a jebel, had total assets of only $1 trillion, while Lin Nan's was worth $100 trillion. So, as Marshal Su had said, he was doing this for Lin Nan's own good, and for everyone's. But he still had a stubborn streak, otherwise, Marshal Su's words would be meaningless. Go check that man's background. Marshal Su is building momentum on my territory, isn't that a slap in the face of my lord me? I want to see just how deep his capital is. I've brought nearly $1 trillion star coins for this auction, the middle-aged man named Migong said coldly. His assistant nodded, then glanced at Lin Nan and the others with an equally sinister look. Marshal Su's words sparked a wave of discussion, and soon, another round of noise erupted from the crowd. Lin Nan looked over and saw several men in robes, wielding scepters. One figure, no, two figures to be exact, caught Lin Nan's attention. One was Lin Nan, and the other was Melissa. Why are they in there? Lin Nan asked subconsciously. At this moment, another figure walked out from behind them. Nana. Chapter 208 Melissa's instructions. Naneko and Melissa were a long way apart, so they likely didn't know each other. However, Lin Nan hadn't expected Melissa to attend the auction. Seeing them approach, Lin Nan waved unabashedly, allowing them to see him. Melissa was stunned, while Lin Nan excitedly waved her scepter. It's Big Brother, it's... Oh, Melissa, hearing Lin Nan's cry, quickly came to her senses and immediately covered Lin Nan's mouth. At that moment, an elderly woman at the head of the group glanced at the two, her expression grim. What? You know that person? Let Lin Nan go. I want to hear what she has to say. Melissa and the others seemed afraid of the elderly woman. Although Melissa was reluctant, she eventually removed her hand from Lin Nan's mouth. Lin Nan, her mouth free, exhaled sharply. Mother-in-law, this is the man I told you about earlier, the one who offered to give me an expensive necklace just because I stepped on him. As she spoke, Lin Nan gently squeezed Melissa's hand, signaling she wouldn't say anything more. And in truth, Lin Nan didn't say much. Melissa hadn't expected the usually naive Lin Nan to be so bright. In fact, as her closest sister, she had told Lin Nan all her secrets, including her encounter with Lin Nan on the mechanical constructor planet. Of course, she was selective in her explanations. Melissa simply didn't mention the inappropriate aspects of the dream. However, the old woman's eyes were incredibly sharp. With just one glance, she realized things weren't as simple as Lin Nan had claimed. Why does that man look more like Melissa to me than Lin Nan? Melissa shuddered at her mother-in-law's words. Well, it's because when I discovered he was trying to trick Lin Nan, I attacked him. And now he's got me. He insists I'm his deceased wife. Melissa tried to suppress her nervousness. She wasn't wrong, she was just trying to conceal something. At that moment, the old woman's solemn expression relaxed, as if she believed Melissa's words. So that's how it is, she said softly, smiling. Seeing her like this, Melissa assumed she believed her words. Just as she was about to breathe a sigh of relief, she heard the old woman look at the tall girl beside her and say, Kinkin, after this auction is over, you must bring me the head of this scoundrel. Our saint of the Zunzian Hall cannot be defiled by man. The woman named Kinkin nodded slightly, and suddenly, a faint aura lingered around her. Melissa's face remained expressionless, but her heart was boiling with fear. She knew that this senior sister named Kinkin was brewing her ultimate move. It was a very secretive sneak attack. She knew Lin Nan had the protection of the Dark Gold Saints, but it was easier to avoid an open attack than a hidden one, and her senior sister had never failed before. If she knew that Lin Nan's Dark Gold Saints were not around to protect him, she would probably be even more worried. Let's continue on our way. Don't worry, your senior sister will seek justice for you, the old woman said leisurely. Lin Nan had stopped waving his hands because he finally realized the folly of his actions. Thanks to Marshal Su's vast knowledge, he'd recognized the other parties' identities. They were the members of the Zunzian Hall, the same group that had planted spies in his residence. The old woman leading the group was none other than the Zunzian Hall's vice leader, a 9th Order peak-level psychic known as Ghost Bodhi. The three women behind her were the Hall's three saints. To maintain their purity, saints were forbidden from having affairs with any men. This was the Zunzian Hall's rule. Lin Nan's waving to them had inadvertently harmed them. Similarly, Lin Nan knew he might be harmed too. Just now, he'd sensed a surge of murderous intent from Ghost Bodhi, a sense of urgency that wouldn't stop until he was dead. What the hell? Lin Nan's right eyelid twitched. No, just in case, I should call them all over. While these Zunzian Hall members couldn't kill me, it was still necessary to eliminate any future trouble. You can't wear your combat uniform all the time, or else they'll steal it and attack you. Thinking of this, a murderous intent brewed within Lin Nan. Excuse me, he left the hall and headed for the restroom. Just as he opened the door, a powerful force suddenly pressed him against the wall. Lin Nan was about to exert his strength when he saw it was none other than Melissa. While waiting for the auction to begin, Melissa had been observing him, both intentionally and unintentionally. While he was waiting for the restroom, she claimed to have forgotten something at the hotel and opened two portals, the second leading to the restroom. Melissa ignored him and, after wall slamming Lin Nan against the wall, covered his mouth. After the auction, My senior sister will be sent to kill you. Run, and it's best to leave now. Do you understand? Lin Nan nodded frantically. But the moment Melissa's hand moved away, Lin Nan flipped over and wall slammed her against the wall. Melissa was shocked. But then she saw Lin Nan, his eyes gazing at her with affection. You're always avoiding me. I thought you didn't care about me anymore? I never thought, Before she could finish her words, Lin Nan let go of Melissa. She struggled so hard that he had no choice but to release her hand. Don't be such a scoundrel. I've said what I need to say. It's up to you whether you run or not. With that, Melissa used her cane to create a portal in the restroom door. There's one more thing I must say. While your guards are formidable, my sister is the best at assassination. Don't take any chances. With that, Melissa slipped through the portal without a backward glance. I didn't ask the Dark Gold Saints to follow. Lin Nan hadn't expected her to be so impatient. She'd barely finished her words when she vanished. Lin Nan shook his head in frustration, figuring he was already in the restroom, so he might as well have a quickie. Before she could unbutton her pants, a voice suddenly rang out in her ears. What? Your guards didn't follow. It turned out that Melissa had heard Lin Nan's voice as she was leaving, but it was a little vague. However, after careful consideration, Melissa finally understood what Lin Nan had just said. Then she rushed back without stopping. Chapter 209. I have to find a way to kill her. Quick, I'll open a portal for you, and have them all come to protect you. Melissa's expression was utterly agitated. Lin Nan was stunned, but he quickly recovered. Melissa's portal was incredibly convenient. With just the coordinates, it could be opened instantly, unlike the portal in the artifact pavilion, where only designated individuals could enter and exit. Lin Nan had come to the restroom to summon them, and with such a convenient portal, he naturally refused to give it up. Soon, Lin Nan and Melissa arrived at Kimu Wolf Star. Sensing Lin Nan's arrival, they rushed from all directions. Master Apostle, are we going to beat that bastard again today? Seeing Lin Nan approach them, the talkative weasel hunter assumed they were about to start another fight. Knowing Melissa was anxious to get back, Lin Nan briefly explained and led them on. By the time Lin and the others reached the other side, the auction had just begun. To avoid suspicion, Lin Nan arrived a little late. By then, the first lot had already been auctioned. The first item to appear is usually considered a good item. After all, if it's unremarkable from the start, the auction is, if not a failure, at least flawed. The first lot to be auctioned was a flute. According to Marshal Su, this item embodies a poignant love story. A woman was a member of a church, and due to church rules, she couldn't associate with men. But by chance, she met a man who made a living making flutes. She fell in love with him. Although he made a living making flutes, he was a skilled flute player and handsome, attracting many women, but he wasn't interested in them. As fate would have it, he fell in love with a woman who paused for less than 3 seconds at his stall. Due to church rules, their love was unrequited. The man was forced to play his flute in front of their church. The melodious sound of the flute conveyed the man's regret for not being loved and his resentment towards worldly conventions. The woman, in turn, felt the man's deep affection for him. Finally, one rainy night, the man eloped with her. They planned a beautiful future together, imagining a happy life just the two of them. The woman would take care of the husband and children, while the man would make the flute to support the family. But if that were the case, the flute wouldn't have appeared at the auction. Soon, the news of their elopement leaked, and the church, vying to uphold its rules, hunted the woman. Finally, when she became pregnant, they abducted her and cremated her along with her unborn child. But they spared the man. Not only that, they returned his ashes to him. He collapsed as they watched. He tried to fight them to the death, but was no match. Ultimately, he died in despair. Someone buried them together, but when the graves were moved the following year, they discovered that neither the man's remains nor the woman's ashes were found, leaving only the jade flute. Thus ended the story. Lin Nan, after hearing this, didn't find the story particularly poignant, but rather a sense of the horror of weakness. If you were in their shoes, he would have summoned an army to crush the entire sect. As Lin Nan pondered, he felt that the woman and Melissa seemed to be bound by the cult, unable to follow their own will. However, he wasn't that man. Their only commonality was good looks. Don't worry, Melissa. I won't let their tragedy happen to us. Lin Nan thought so, but Melissa saw the opposite. To her, Lin Nan was exactly like the flute maker. In her opinion, while Lin Nan's strength was considerable, He was nothing compared to the Seeking Truth Hall. Therefore, she needed to stay away from Lin Nan to better protect him. The old woman, Ghost Bodhi, apparently found the story behind the flute quite relevant and casually remarked, "This fate is still mild. If it were me, I'd let the woman watch the man she loves tortured to death, while the man would watch the woman being toyed with by other men." Finally, the two pieces of trash would be thrown to the most extreme ends of the universe, never to see each other again. Ghost Bodhi's words sent a chill down the spine of the three saints. Although it was just words, they knew it was a warning. Lin Nan had been watching their movements, and presumably the old woman hadn't been disguising her words, so every word finally reached him. Lin Nan's eyes narrowed slightly. This old woman can't be kept here. I must find a chance to kill her. Slowly, the price of the flute rose to its final price, from 10 million star coins to 1.5 billion. Lin Nan didn't know what was so special about the flute. Made from bones, he didn't feel the poignant beauty of love, but rather a hint of strangeness. Thinking of this, Lin Nan instinctively touched his pocket, and at the same moment, he was stunned. The sequence A element had vanished. How could this be possible? Lin Nan searched his other pockets again, and as expected, none of them were empty. The sequence A element had truly vanished inexplicably. Although it had left on its own, Lin Nan didn't think anything of it. He even felt that the element was perceptive, knowing he disliked it and leaving on its own accord. But even if he thought so, this kind of thing inherently exudes a sense of strangeness. Its disappearance this time was definitely unusual. Lin Nan consulted the system and Yellen, but neither of them knew why the element had vanished. "It's giving me a headache," Lin Nan shook his head, ultimately deciding not to think about it. Meanwhile, the auction had its second item. For some reason, before this one even came out, Lin Nan could already feel gazes from all directions. "Feeling it, huh?" Marshal Su suddenly smirked at Lin Nan. "That's actually quite normal. It proves the hype was a success." Lin Nan looked at Marshal Su with some confusion. "You know what I'm feeling?" Marshal Su nodded. "Of course, it's the gazes. They're watching your attitude. The hype has invisibly established you as someone with plenty of money. If you decide to bid for this item, you'll undoubtedly bring the bidding to a climax." "So, you're saying this item is amazing?" Lin Nan asked. "It's more than just awesome, it's a divine object." Marshal Su's eyes sparkled as he spoke these words. "No one but us can take this thing away. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 210 11 billion. Marshal Su's determined expression piqued Lin Nan's curiosity even more. Lin Nan asked him what it was, but he remained suspenseful, refusing to tell her. Finally, amidst everyone's anticipation, the second item finally appeared. What was it? A map? Lin Nan was stunned, because it was definitely just a map. "Is this the treasure you're talking about?" Lin Nan asked, looking at the excited Marshal Su beside him. "This isn't just any map, it's a treasure map. It's said to contain all the wealth accumulated by the space pioneer Monkey Luffy during his exploration of the starry sky." "Oh? Is that Monkey Luffy that powerful? He could have amassed a fortune, compared to me." Marshal Su smiled. "A conservative estimate, 10,000 times yours." "Holy shit?" Lin Nan was stunned. Lin Nan's current net worth was 100 trillion. If he was 10,000 times his own, then... And that was just a conservative estimate. Lin Nan didn't dare to even think about it. Seeing Lin Nan's surprise, Marshal Su quickly explained, "I know you're surprised, but I'm not exaggerating. I just said he was a pioneer of the Star Sea. Before it was explored, it was shrouded in a fog. Of course, this fog harbored dangers, but also held many treasures. As some perished in the Star Sea, others survived, and those who survived naturally possessed unparalleled wealth. Monkey Luffy was such a great navigator." Lin Nan nodded. "So that's how it is." Marshal Su's words made Lin Nan relieved. After all, he was a star explorer, so amassing wealth was easy. But ease didn't mean there were no dangers. On the contrary, dangers were often fatal. This wealth was the price they paid for with their lives. After Monkey Luffy fulfilled his dream of sailing, he found that he would never be able to spend all his wealth in his lifetime, so he went into seclusion. When he was dying, he buried his wealth in a place, and then drew a treasure map. Marshal Su paused and continued, He originally wanted to make this treasure map public, but then he thought it was inappropriate, so he gave it to some people who were eager for wealth. Human nature is selfish. Even though many people embarked on the road to treasure hunting and never came back, no one was willing to make this treasure map public, and the real treasure map also disappeared on the way to treasure hunting. This treasure map is said to be the closest rubbing version to the original. Lin Nan was stunned. It turns out it's not the original. Are you sure of its authenticity? Marshal Su nodded firmly. Monkey Luffy's family is willing to guarantee this treasure map. Since Monkey Luffy didn't leave them his huge fortune, the family is now penniless and can only auction the treasure map in this way to make ends meet. On the one hand, it is a way to make ends meet. On the other hand, the agreement is that whoever wins the treasure map at the auction, if they can really find the wealth, needs to give 1% of it to their family. So as you can see, they don't need to falsify this treasure map. Lin Nan nodded. So, do you really want to get this treasure map? Marshal Su also nodded firmly. When I was an interstellar gold digger, I had a great dream, which was to find the treasure buried by Monkey Luffy. But treasure maps are privately owned by the rich. How could I possibly get them? Now that I have successfully stepped into this circle, naturally I want to fight for this treasure map. Lin Nan understood. He then raised the gold medal hand. 10 billion, the bidding had just begun, and the starting price was only 10 million. Although the minimum increment was 10 million, Lin Nan's immediate bid of 10 billion stunned everyone. Even the host was stunned, forgetting to call out the price. Marshal Su turned his head stiffly to look at Lin Nan, also bewildered. I didn't expect the starting price of your dream to be 10 million. But don't worry, I've raised the price to 10 billion. Your dream will come true. Marshal Su knew that Lin Nan wanted to help him take a picture of the map. Although he felt a little helpless, he was also moved. Brother Lin, you don't have to be so rude. In fact, this treasure map has only sold for a little over 7 billion in previous years. You may have spent nearly 3 billion more. Is 3 billion a lot of money? Lin Nan smiled at Marshal Su. The auction reached its climax right from the start, and all the bidders who had hoped for the treasure map were stunned. They didn't expect their bidding turned before it even began. In previous years, the price of 7 billion was actually their limit. Who the hell is this guy? He's spending 10 billion right off the bat. Even though we're all chaebols, we can't just hand over 10 billion, everyone murmured. Could it be true, as Marshal Su said, that this guy is no ordinary person? No wonder Marshal Su was willing to serve him. Everyone was unfamiliar with Lin Nan's true identity. How is the investigation I asked you to do? Mi Gong looked at the assistant who had just arrived. He had just followed Mi Gong's instructions to investigate Lin Nan's background, but the man shook his head with some embarrassment. This man seemed to have appeared suddenly. I investigated the descendants of all the big chaebols in the entire central universe, but I didn't find any information about him. Not only that, there is no news about him among the new rich people. After listening to his subordinate's statement, Mi Gong frowned, but soon relaxed. I know, this must be the illegitimate son of some big chaebol. Such people often cannot show up, so they can only hide their identities and lie. To deal with such people, just make things bigger during the confrontation. After knowing how to deal with him, Mi Gong relaxed. Then what should we do with this treasure map, boss? I know you've been thinking about it for years. We didn't have money before, but our business has skyrocketed in recent years. Are we going to give it to someone else? Of course not, Mi Gong said with a smile. When he said this, his eyes were fixed on Lin Nan not far away. This kind of illegitimate child usually doesn't have much money. I think 10 billion should be his limit. Besides, there's no way for him to create momentum since he came to my territory. I'll let you know how powerful the local tyrants are. After that, just when the host was about to knock on the hammer to set the price, Mi Gong raised his hand. 11 billion. Everyone's eyes immediately focused on Mi Gong. He seemed to like the feeling of being stared at or looked up to. Chapter 211 100 billion. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly, and his expression as he looked at Lin Nan grew even more amused. However, Lin Nan had never taken this person seriously, nor had he considered the significance of the 10 billion and 10 billion bids. Just when everyone thought that 10 billion was the final price, Lin Nan raised his hand again. 100 billion, 100 billion, that person bid 100 billion. Instantly, everyone present turned their gazes to Lin Nan. They were all well off, but it was clear that even a 10 billion bid wouldn't be enough, even 20 billion, at most, and Mi Gong would give in. But Lin Nan didn't want to surrender. He wanted a complete crushing victory. Just moments before, Mi Gong was still gloating. Even when he saw Lin Nan raise his hand to bid, he wasn't particularly surprised. He believed that Lin Nan's budget had already been exhausted. At most, he would spend another 10 billion on this treasure map. The auction had just begun, and there were still many items to be revealed. Mi Gong, on the other hand, was different. His budget was 15 billion. It wasn't that he was fabulously wealthy, but rather that he came prepared. The treasure map was one of his most coveted items at the auction. Another reason he had to bid for the treasure map was that he wanted to teach this young man a lesson. However, no one anticipated this. Just as Mi Gong was about to try to negotiate, Lin Nan unleashed his king's sword and struck him dead in the throat. This effectively dampened Mi Gong's spirit. Beneath the chairs, out of sight, Mi Gong's hand, which had just raised its bid, trembled uncontrollably. Yet, he smiled at the crowd, pretending nothing had happened, demonstrating his mastery. The audience, on the other hand, were genuinely enjoying the spectacle. They were all secretly thanking Marshal Su for his warning, otherwise, Mi Gong might have suffered the same fate as them. You might think Mi Gong wasn't actually hurt, but that's not the case. If Lin Nan and him had been slowly trading bids, it would have been fine. Ultimately, whoever lost would have simply made a decision based on a careful mental balance of pros and cons, but now, Mi Gong had just bid 11 billion, and you just go for 100 billion. You're both chaebols, but you're flaunting your wealth. While Lin Nan didn't mean it, the situation was like a basketball court where both players were top athletes, but Mi Gong tried to show off his skills, only to be blocked. Mi Gong had no chance to fight back, because after blocking him, the opponent simply took the ball and, with a Lan Dai Hu Yun Yu Shen Bu, Blue Butterfly Wandering Body Step, and Kang Long Yu Wei, Dragon Regret, slammed the ball home for an easy dunk, winning the game. Mi Gong, seemingly overjoyed, tried to smile and pretend it didn't matter. Brother Lin, you don't have to be so rude. 100 billion is a tenfold increase. Marshal Su could see that Lin Nan truly wanted to help him obtain the treasure map, but his tactics were brutal. 100 billion, that's nearly 1/10 of Marshal Su's wealth. Is 100 billion a lot? I think it's just that. If he dares to come again, I'll just ask for 1 trillion next time. It'll save me the trouble, Lin Nan said calmly. Hey. No need for that. Really, no need for that, Marshal Su reassured him with a look of helplessness. Even though it wasn't his money, 100 billion still seemed a bit much to Marshal Su. Lin Nan, naturally seeing his drift, casually remarked, that's really not much? And even if you run out of money, you can always earn more. I recently came up with a money-making idea. Marshal Su was puzzled. What idea? Why didn't you tell me about this great project? Go away. You can't do this kind of business. Leave it to me, Lin Nan said. Marshal Su was puzzled. What kind of business was so secretive? Considering Lin Nan's recent methods of making money, aside from kidnapping someone to get 100 trillion, there wasn't really any other good way. At this thought, Marshal Su froze for a moment, then looked at Lin Nan in surprise. You're not talking about, Lin Nan smiled faintly at his expression, wiping his neck. Haha, don't worry, I'm not some desperate criminal. As long as he doesn't provoke me, I won't kidnap him. Of course, that only requires him to have money. What if he doesn't have money? Marshal Su suddenly thought. If he doesn't have money, just kill him, Lin Nan said casually. Marshal Su nodded. In other words, if he doesn't have money, kill him. If he does, let him go. No. Lin Nan shook his head. If he has money, kidnap him first, then kill him. Marshal Su felt a chill run down his spine after hearing this. Luckily, this guy is a brother, otherwise he wouldn't know where he'd be lying right now. Hopefully, no one here is so foolish as to mess with Brother Lin. After Lin Nan raised the bid to 100 billion, no one was willing to raise the price. The people from the Zunzian Hall also took an interest in Lin Nan's generosity. So my sister's sweetheart is so rich. No wonder he's willing to sell Lanlin jewelry worth hundreds of millions of star coins, Lanlin whispered in Melissa's ear. Lanlin, why are you saying that? And he's not my sweetheart, he's just a dying man. As she spoke, Melissa pinched Lanlin's thigh and glared at her. Lanlin chuckled, not daring to say anything else. This kid must be no ordinary person. He might be the illegitimate child of some wealthy tycoon. When you take action, remember to be discreet, Kinkin nodded seriously. Melissa's heart sank at their words. She glanced furtively at Lin Nan, meeting his gaze. Her pretty face flushed instantly. Not wanting to be seen, she lowered her head. A woman's loveliest moment is when her face blushes and her heart beats when she sees her beloved. It's abhorrent that such a stunning beauty is bound by the rules of the church. Don't worry, my little wife, I will rescue you from this, Lin Nan swore silently in his heart. With a hammer falling from the host's hand, the rubbing of Monkey Luffy's treasure map finally landed in the hands of Marshal Su. However, it was still nominally in Lin Nan's hands, for Marshal Su's own good. Some people, unable to obtain something through financial means, will resort to physical force to obtain it. Lin Nan feared that someone might covet the treasure map and attack Marshal Su. With his combat uniform on, he was naturally not afraid of an ambush, but Marshal Su was different. Marshal Su was not only grateful but also deeply moved by Lin Nan's actions. Chapter 212, Land of Delusion. The auction was still going on. The third and fourth lots were relatively rare artifacts, but Lin Nan had no interest in them. However, what he wasn't interested in was highly prized by others. After all, treasures like these antiques and artifacts were highly prized by established tycoons. Seeing that Lin Nan didn't compete with them, they were incredibly pleased. However, when the auction reached the fifth lot, the atmosphere suddenly changed. Lin Nan knew another treasure had arrived. He once again felt the gazes from all sides. Interestingly, this time, the old woman, Ghost Bodhi, even began to scrutinize Lin Nan. Originally, the fifth lot was just a locked wooden box, and Lin Nan had no interest in it. But after noticing that Ghost Bodhi was interested, he became interested as well. However, he wasn't in a rush. This time, he had learned his lesson. He planned to throw down the big bomb last. Only when the item finally fell into Ghost Bodhi's hands would he fight for it. If for no other reason than to piss this guy off. According to the usual introduction, this wooden box is a completely unopened object. It's called an object, not a treasure, because no one knows what's inside. And the reason it's being auctioned is because the place it was unearthed is unusual. It's a planet called the Land of Illusion. Just like every place has its own mysteries, this Land of Illusion is the strangest of all. It's so strange because, even though there's no one there, those passing through can vaguely see spaceships emerging from it. Those who chase them will find that the spaceships vanish the moment they approach. Furthermore, anyone passing by this planet feels like they are being watched, even like someone is calling their name from behind. Because of this planet's strangeness, many explorers have explored it. But without exception, those who discover anything never return alive. Instead, those who discover nothing but sightseeing, like tourists, return alive. According to those who have returned, the place is completely desolate and devoid of anything. Yet, amidst the desolation, a beautiful mirage can be seen. Anyone with some scientific knowledge knows that a mirage is a phenomenon of refraction, meaning that what they see is real. But not only can they not find it, but within the mirage, pavilions and towers resemble a fairyland, and even technologically advanced aircraft can be seen. How could such a thing possibly exist on this planet? Although those who have made discoveries have never returned, there are always exceptions. It is said that a scientist braved the danger of entering the spaceship to conduct research, uncovering a crucial secret. To preserve this secret, he placed many items on a spaceship, hosting an AI, intending to send them all away while remaining on the planet. However, the unmanned spacecraft exploded just before leaving the planet, destroying almost all of its data. Only this box, thanks to its incredibly strong material, escaped the blast and, instead, withstood the powerful force, flew out of the illusionary land. It's outrageous that the only fruit scientists risked their lives for has, thanks to capital manipulation, become a private collection. Since no one could open the box, it was eventually sold at auction. Therefore, there are two issues surrounding this box. First, no one knows what's inside, meaning buying it is essentially like buying a blind box. Second, it seems difficult to open. Otherwise the original owner wouldn't have auctioned it off. Even so, the reserve price for this item is a whopping 100 million star coins. As soon as the host announced the reserve price, someone immediately raised the bid, 1 billion star coins. This price increased tenfold. Everyone instinctively looked at Lin Nan, only to discover that the bid had come from a girl a little further ahead of him. Melissa. Someone from the Zunzun Hall had also taken a liking to this wooden box, and their opening bid was 10 billion. The tall girl Kinkin was originally the one to bid, but at GUI Bodhi's signal, Melissa switched to her. This was actually partly due to GUI Bodhi's interest in Lin Nan. He had a vague suspicion that Lin Nan was related to Melissa, so he was using Melissa to guarantee the success of this auction. After all, if Lin Nan truly was related to Melissa, he would definitely not participate. Would that be blatantly opposing Melissa? That old woman, Lin Nan couldn't help but sneer. Although Gui Bodhi's plan was perfectly executed, he had underestimated Lin Nan. Now that he knew their sex rules, if Lin Nan truly complied with his wishes, it would not only ultimately benefit him but also confirm their relationship to some extent. This, in turn, would put Melissa in danger. Therefore, Lin Nan not only wanted to participate in this auction, but also insisted on participating. Although it was Melissa who was bidding, he knew that the ultimate beneficiary would be Gui Bodhi. So even if Lin Nan bid, it would be Gui Bodhi, not Melissa. However, Lin Nan was not in a hurry. Deep despair often comes from a surge of hope. Lin Nan wanted them to compete with each other. 1.5 billion, another bid, and it was a direct increase of 500 million. Hey, what's this guy doing? Is he trying to get back the ground he just lost? Who knows? He's one of the nouveau riche of recent years, so he probably has some spare cash. Everyone was talking about Migong. 10 billion, from 1.5 billion straight to 10 billion. And he's from the Zunzan Hall. Gui Bodhi remained calm. Damn it, putting my name on me again. You all thought I was broke, didn't you? Migong was furious. The scene was so similar. While 10 billion was a bit less than Lin Nan's 100 billion, it was enough to touch Migong's fragile heart. 50 billion. Migong's bidding is 50 billion. Fuck, friendly. Lin Nan looked at Migong, his lips curled up. He didn't know if this guy had lost his mind, but he was happy to have embarrassed that old woman from the Zunzan Hall. Migong saw Lin Nan smiling at him, thinking he had earned her admiration, and his vanity instantly piqued, though he had no idea why he'd spend 50 billion on a box that couldn't be opened. This time, the price went straight up from 10 billion to 50 billion. Ghost Bodhi, who had seemed calm before, remained unfazed. 200 billion. Chapter 213 Bidding for 1 trillion? The 200 billion wasn't shouted by Lin Nan, but by the impassive Ghost Bodhi. No one knew what was up with Ghost Bodhi. He was willing to pay 200 billion for an unopenable box. Even though they knew they were from the Zunzan Hall and didn't need the money, 200 billion wasn't much to Lin Nan, but to the tycoons, it was nearly 1/5 of their wealth. Damn it. I'm going to fight you to the bitter end today. Let's see who's stronger, you or me. A local tyrant. Migong glanced at his assistant. Keep raising the price. This time, raise it to 300 billion. Let's see how much money Zunzan Hall has. After hearing Migong's words, the assistant hesitated. Boss, is this really okay? Aren't we here for that thing? If this goes on, we might not have a chance. The assistant's words reminded Migong, but he was clearly already driven to fight. While those who could hold this position were generally well-rounded and prudent, Migong was an exception. Clearly, a lot of luck had gone into his rise. This, in turn, contributed to his unyielding style. Don't worry about it. I can just cut back on some business and scrape together some extra cash. No matter what, I'm going to get this back. I'm going to let them all know that in the City of Mist and Desire, my position as Lord Mi is unchallenged. Most importantly, I know that even though that old woman looks calm and composed, she's actually terrified. Just 300 billion and I'll expose her true colors. 300 billion is not only the highest bid in the room, but it's more than enough to save my reputation, Lord Mi thought to himself, a disdainful smile playing on his face. He subconsciously glanced at Lin Nan and saw him raise his hand. 500 billion, wow. With Lin Nan's new bid, the entire audience erupted in an uproar. 500 billion, did I hear correctly? 500 billion star coins. My entire fortune is only 1 trillion, and this crappy box is worth half that, so am I? My entire fortune is only 600 billion. Sigh, why do I suddenly feel like I've come to the wrong place? Don't jump to conclusions just yet. I feel like that old woman in the Zunzan Palace is so determined to get it. You might find out in a moment that your entire fortune isn't worth as much as a box, another person said leisurely. While his words were harsh, even jarring, they were speaking the truth. Hearing about Lin Nan's bid, many felt a sense of unreality. After all, it was 500 billion, half of Marshal Su's entire fortune. While he didn't understand why Lin Nan was so obsessed with an unopenable box, Marshal Su knew she truly didn't need that little money. Grandma, are you okay? In the Zunzhen Palace, the tall, beautiful Kikin noticed something was wrong with the ghost Bodhi. When bidding for 200 billion, Gui Bodhi hadn't even frowned, but Mi Gong had half guessed it. Gui Bodhi was indeed pretending, but he wouldn't have panicked over 200 billion. At this moment, Gui Bodhi looked at Melissa in confusion. Are you really not related? Melissa was stunned for a moment, as if she had finally figured something out, then shook her head, but it was just a shake, no more extraneous movement. Gui Bodhi glanced at Lin Nan, who didn't even look at him, treating them like passers-by. 500 billion isn't our limit. Keep bidding. This time, we'll raise the bid by 50 billion and see where that person's bottom line is, Gui Bodhi continued. Boss. Should we raise the price again? The assistant looked at Mi Gong, whose face was ashen, as grim as it could be. In his mind, everyone's limit should be 300 billion. How could 500 billion suddenly appear? That's 500 billion. Is he really not short of money? Mi Gong hesitated. 300 billion was his limit, but it wasn't everyone else's. He'd misjudged before, and this time, he absolutely couldn't afford to be blocked again. His earlier drive for revenge vanished with Lin Nan's 500 billion bid. After some thought, Mi Gong decided not to bid. Meanwhile, bidding began at the Zunzhen Hall, and this time, just as Gui Bodhi had predicted, 550 billion, the price was truly breathtaking. With that number, the atmosphere paused for several seconds. No one at the auction started bidding. Everyone looked at Lin Nan, only to find him staring blankly ahead. Mi Gong and Gui Bodhi observed him intermittently. It seemed as if he was truly giving up this time. Are there any gentlemen who wish to bid? If not, then we'll start the 3-second countdown. Gui Bodhi's composure grew uneasy. Now, he feared Lin Nan would strike back. Although they had brought trillions of dollars to the table for this box, Lin Nan's bid was truly terrifying, increasing by tens, hundreds, or even hundreds of billions, which was truly unbearable. So, Gui Bodhi had been anxiously waiting for the host's countdown to end. Now, he was truly panicking. Strangely, it was only 3 seconds, but it felt like a lifetime. 3, 2, 1. Okay, then, let's congratulate. The host excitedly raised his hammer. As the countdown ended, Gui Bodhi finally breathed a sigh of relief, a disdainful smile spreading across his face. The moment the hammer fell, the box would truly be his. However, before the hammer could drop, Lin Nan's vision cleared, and he shouted, "Wait!" The sound was deafening, and the host quickly withdrew his hammer. Everyone looked at Lin Nan in bewilderment. At the same time, they saw Lin Nan raise a finger high in the air. What was this? 1 trillion. Lin Nan raised a finger. Isn't that 1 trillion? After just a few rounds of bidding, everyone knew Lin Nan's character. He'd bid as little as tens of billions, as much as hundreds of billions. While this time's offer of 50 billion was shocking, it was still acceptable. This? You're right. Our net worth isn't worth as much as an unopenable chest, I'm right, aren't I? With trillion-dollar fortunes like yours, this chest is definitely not worth it. Luckily, I can still afford 3 or 4 of these, the man said with considerable pride. Although Lin Nan suddenly showed up, Gui Bodhi wasn't as worried as he might have thought. It's only 1 trillion, isn't it? We have it too. For this chest, we can even come up with 2 or 3 trillion, not just 1. The host then began to set the price. This gentleman bids 1 trillion. Do you have a higher bid? Wait, Lin Nan suddenly glanced up, raised his finger, and looked at the host in a daze. My bid is 10 trillion. Chapter 214 Lin Nan's Wealth. Sir, what did you say? Are you sure you said 10 trillion? The host asked himself, his expression completely blank. For a moment, the entire audience fell silent. They all instinctively turned to Lin Nan. Even those who had previously secretly observed him in the Zunzhen Hall turned their heads to look at him. Although they had heard Lin Nan's words clearly, they all wanted to hear that terrifying number again. Lin Nan granted their wishes. That's right, 10 trillion. Sorry, I was distracted. As he spoke, he nodded at the host. With Lin Nan's affirmative answer, everyone finally believed that he had really said 10 trillion. Oh my god. 10 trillion. 10 trillion. Someone is actually willing to pay 10 trillion for a crappy box. That's 10 trillion. The man who had just been saying how many boxes he could afford fell silent and slinked away to the back of the crowd. He couldn't handle being slapped in the face just after showing off. The auction, which had been quiet since the first one, hadn't been quiet since Lin Nan's arrival. The noise was resounding, and this time, Lin Nan's outrageous spending of 10 trillion yuan on a single box was like a bombshell that instantly detonated the entire crowd. Marshal Su is right. This is someone we can't afford to offend. No wonder a tycoon selling arms is willing to work for him. If it were me, I'd do the same. Who is this guy? I really doubt he can come up with 10 trillion yuan. Actually, it's not just you. I'm also skeptical. Look at the host. I think the organizer said something to him. Everyone looked towards the auctioneer's podium. The organizer whispered something in his ear, then smiled and nodded to Lin Nan before leaving. Lin Nan was puzzled. According to normal procedure, should he ask if there were any higher bids? What Lin Nan didn't know was that the Zunzun Hall, the most likely bidder, had already surrendered under the pressure of Lin Nan's 10 trillion yuan. They could come up with 3 or 4 trillion, or even 5 or 6 trillion, but 10 trillion was far beyond their expectations. Gui Bodhi was already daunted. However, his hope was rekindled by the host's words. Excuse me, sir, your bid is incredibly high, completely exceeding our auction house's all-time high. Therefore, according to procedure, we need to verify your funds. While private property is sacred and confidential within the Star Alliance, you can be assured that we have the Star Alliance's authorization, and we are conducting this verification in a private and extremely discreet location. So please come with me, the host spoke gently. This was actually the organizer's intention. There was nothing they could do about it. Lin Nan's offer was simply too high. Few of the chaebols present had assets exceeding 10 trillion, and for Lin Nan to offer 10 trillion for a single box was simply outrageous. Lin Nan understood his meaning and sympathized with him. However, he clearly didn't want to go through all the trouble. It's just 10 trillion, nothing to worry about. Just take a look. With that, Lin Nan casually adjusted the bracelet, revealing the balance page, and then tossed it precisely into the host's hands. Seeing the bracelet so casually thrown, the host hurried to catch it. It was thanks to Lin Nan's careful toss, otherwise the bracelet might have actually fallen to the ground. It wasn't that the host couldn't catch it properly, but the bracelet was so meaningful. That was a close call. I finally caught it, the auction host breathed a sigh of relief. Professional ethics required him to maintain his composure. However, when he opened the bracelet from the off-screen, he was stunned for a moment, then his mouth opened wider and his face paled. Seeing the host's expression, everyone was also confused. What was going on? What did he see? Damn, tell me, are you trying to drive us crazy? The organizer seemed to notice something was amiss. The person who had taken the stage earlier stepped forward. Where's your professionalism? This isn't the quality of a qualified auction host. The organizer took the stage and approached the host with a hint of displeasure, his eyes instinctively glancing at the bracelet in his hand. Hiss, the man gasped. By then, the host had regained his composure, but the organizers were stunned. The crowd below was even more bewildered. Mi Gong said, damn. This is a disgrace to us, the people of Mist Desire City. What have they seen? They've become so foolish. Gui Bodhi's hope began to fade. His intuition told him that the funds they had seen from Lin Nan would only increase, not decrease. After all, if they were truly low, a simple "sir, you don't have enough" would have been enough. There was no need for such a violent reaction. However, he was a man who wouldn't cry until he saw the coffin, and the last glimmer of hope in his heart never faded. Is it all right? Is there enough money in here to buy this box? Finally, it was Lin Nan who woke them up. Recovering from their daze, the two nodded repeatedly, exclaiming, enough, more than enough. After this, the organizer personally handed the bracelet to Lin Nan. He apologized guiltily for his distraction, saying, I'm so sorry. I've never seen so much money in my life, and I'm a little confused. Everyone else was stunned by this. Their confusion was tinged with curiosity. How much money was this? Even the organizers hadn't seen it? Lin Nan smiled and didn't take it seriously. After accepting the bracelet, General Su stepped forward to take a look. Naturally, Lin Nan wouldn't hide the amount, and simply tossed it to him. It's nothing special, just a few extra zeros, General Su shrugged. He knew how much Lin Nan probably had. At most, it was 100 trillion yuan from the kidnapping. However, when he actually took the bracelet and took a closer look, he gasped. Naneko, who was standing nearby, quickly covered her mouth and nearly screamed. After seeing their reactions, everyone became even more curious about Lin Nan's wealth. They speculated that, as Lin Nan's subordinate, while General Su might not know Lin Nan's exact wealth, he should have a rough idea. The previous hype proved that Lin Nan was quite wealthy. But judging by their expressions, it was clear that General Su had underestimated Lin Nan. In other words, he was actually even richer than before. But how much was that, exactly? Damn, who knows? Waiting online, this is urgent. Chapter 215, A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. Hiss, this money, how come there's so much more? Marshal Su looked at Lin Nan, excitedly and bewilderedly asking, I only remembered it being 100 trillion, look at how meticulously Marshal Su used the word only. Lin Nan smiled. That's not so bad. It's just a few extra zeros, isn't it? It's just a few extra zeros. Marshal Su was once again bewildered by Lin Nan's words. He whispered, do you know what the extra zeros after 100 trillion mean? Marshal Su tried to read the number on his bracelet, but ultimately gave up. I don't even know how to pronounce it now. Can someone tell me how to pronounce 100 trillion? I've never been faced with such a difficult question in my life. Lin Nan shook his head helplessly. This money was just lent to me to show off. It'll be gone soon. Lin Nan's words were half-truths. In reality, there really was 100 trillion in his account. Lin Nan's distraction nearly caused him to miss the bid for the box, but it wasn't accidental. It was because he heard the system's call. Lin Nan's original intention for bidding on the box was to obtain the Kiki ghost booty, and later to superficially distance himself from Melissa. However, just now, the system told him to secure the box. It said it sensed something unusual about the box, though it didn't elaborate on what it was. Naturally, Lin Nan was crying poor as usual. After all, this auction cost money. The system was also decisive, adding a few zeros to Lin Nan's account. While it looked impressive, it actually had a time limit. For a week, Lin Nan could use the money as he pleased, except for making money. After a week, the extra money would disappear. Using this money wouldn't deplete Lin Nan's original assets, meaning his initial capital would remain even after it was spent. Therefore, after this auction, Lin Nan definitely needed to spend some money. However, the auction was the real business. After the asset verification, everyone's expressions towards Lin Nan changed considerably, especially their gazes, which suddenly took on a touch of fawning. But there was an exception. Mi Gong whispered a few words into the assistant's ear, his gaze towards Lin Nan gradually growing fiercer. Upon hearing this, the assistant rushed out without stopping. No one knew what he was doing. An innocent man is guilty of possessing a treasure. With such a large sum of money, one should behave himself, especially in a place as chaotic as the City of Mist and Desire. Mi Gong muttered to himself, clearly regarding Lin Nan as a lamb to be slaughtered. Lin Nan sensed a strong sense of hostility coming from behind him. He had also successfully locked onto Mi Gong. Tell me, how wealthy is that guy behind you? Lin Nan looked at General Su. He tried to turn to see who it was, but Lin Nan stopped him. Don't let him find out. That's the guy who just bid on that crappy box with that old woman from the Zunzin Hall. Hearing Lin Nan's words, Marshal Su immediately knew who it was. After all, it was only Mi Gong who was bidding against Ghost Bodhi. That man's called Mi Gong. He's ostensibly in agriculture, but he's deeply involved with the underworld forces of the Mist Desire City. Does that mean he's rich? Lin Nan asked again. Very rich. His entire industry is worth at least tens of trillions, and that's in the legal sector. As for the gray market, there's definitely a lot of it too. And I'm guessing he has over $1 trillion in idle funds for this auction, Marshal Su said after a moment's thought. Lin Nan nodded. Alright, I've decided. 100 trillion, then, huh? Marshal Su was visibly taken aback. What do you mean 100 trillion? You'll find out soon. Also, don't act too aggressive. Act like a prey. Marshal Su didn't understand, but Nanazi had already read Lin Nan's mind. After all, she had witnessed Zhu Raoang's kidnapping. This guy's a bit scary. Have I been exposed? Nanazi instinctively glanced at Lin Nan, who met Nanazi's gaze as he looked at Marshal Su. Lin Nan smiled politely, but in Nanazi's eyes, it looked like a hunter stalking his prey. Lin Nan's gaze returned to the host. Due to the significant amount of money involved in this item, the organizers had to complete some formalities, which had delayed the auction. Now, these procedures had finally been completed. Any other bids? If not, I'll start the countdown. According to the auction process, the host still needed to ask again. This was undoubtedly a done deal, but just then, the elderly woman in the Zunzun hall, Gui Bodhi, suddenly spoke up. Wait a minute, I think there's something seriously wrong with your auction house. I'm not sure if I should speak up. Everyone's attention instantly focused on Gui Bodhi. Lin Nan glanced at her with disdain, wondering what the heck was she up to? The host glanced at the organizer, saw him nod, then looked back at Gui Bodhi, nodded, and said, "Go ahead." "Well, I'll tell you, I'm not someone who can't stand losing, but regarding this box, when we were setting the price, I remember you called out number 1, but the hammer didn't fall, so the hammer is the standard." Before Gui Bodhi could finish, the host rushed in. This kind of quick response was clearly something she'd experienced before. To put it bluntly, she didn't have enough money and couldn't afford to lose, so she blamed the host. Although Gui Bodhi had initially emphasized that it wasn't about losing, everyone knew the truth. "It's a crude thing, you can't afford to lose it yourself, and don't bring my wife along." Lin Nan saw Melissa's pretty face blush slightly, clearly sensing a hint of struggle in Gui Bodhi's actions. "How about this? If you really want it, take the 11 trillion, how about that? I'll just make an extra trillion." Lin Nan looked at Gui Bodhi and said with a smile. But there was a hint of servility in that smile. If the other party could really offer 11 trillion, he wouldn't have found fault with this. Clearly, he was doing it on purpose. Lin Nan wasn't afraid that he would actually make an offer. A fight was inevitable, anyway, and now that the box they had fought so hard for was in his hands, that fight was even more inevitable. Gui Bodhi knew Lin Nan was teasing him, so he didn't respond, only snorting coldly and sitting down. Lin Nan wanted to say something more, but Melissa glared at him coquettishly. Lin Nan obediently shut up. The beauty's blushing face only grew more delicate. Chapter 216 I have a friend. In a spacious, bright top-floor office, two men sat at opposite ends of a long table. A faint scorn played on each of their lips. They were none other than the two sons of the owner of the 168-story building, the brothers Xiaojian and Xiaoliu. Another man, standing before them, asked in a most obsequious tone, "What are your thoughts, gentlemen?" Anyone present at the auction house would have recognized him. He was none other than Mi Gong's assistant. His purpose in coming here today was to introduce Lin Nan to these two, as his boss, Mi Gong, had instructed. Interesting. Daring to come to the city of mist and desire alone, with so much money. I feel like this is a provocation. What do you think, second brother? The eldest, Xiaojian, said with a chuckle. The second oldest, Xiaoliu, also smiled and nodded. Then let's do this. Kidnap him and plunder his valuables first. Then, have his family come up with more money to ransom him. What do you think, big brother? That's fine, but he's so wealthy, and he's quite powerful compared to the forces he belongs to. To be safe, we'd better kidnap him first. After we find out his identity, we can decide his life or death later, Xiaojian said calmly. Xiaoliu smiled in agreement at his words. Big brother, you're still the safest. I'll go gather the men. With that, Xiaoliu stood up and prepared to leave. Suddenly, Xiaojian said, call more people, including Dragon God. After all, with father away, we'd better be safe. Dragon God, a renowned 9th-rank master and a powerful figure in their area, hadn't expected his brother to actually let him come along. Although Mi Gong's assistant had described this man as wealthy, he hadn't disclosed just how rich he was, leaving them skeptical. They feared they might run into a poor fellow and fall prey to his misfortune. If they allowed Long Shen to follow them, they'd likely be ridiculed. After some thought, Xiaoliu finally nodded, saying nothing, and walked out. Then, Boss Xia, I'm leaving too, Mi Gong's assistant said, bowing. Wait a minute, our operation is expected to conclude at the auction. Then, I'll have Mr. Mi invite them over as host. He can't be my only target. I'll definitely visit every single one of them. If the Xia family doesn't show up, fine, but if they do, we'll make a killing. The assistant smiled and nodded. Don't worry, Boss Xia. We've worked with you on this kind of thing quite a bit. The boss depends on you for his livelihood, so naturally, we'll follow your every word. I'll arrange the details for the evening party right away. However, I'm worried they won't give our boss face. And that guy seems quite the character. If then, before the assistant could finish her words, Xiaojian's smile suddenly froze. If he can't even handle this little thing, Mr. Mi doesn't deserve to be with me. Tell your boss to be smart. I'll bring my people tonight. If the person I want isn't there, then I'll have to ask you to pay the ransom for them." Xiaojian spoke calmly, but the assistant panicked. It was nothing more than trying to get the skin of a tiger. The seemingly gentle and refined Xiaojian before him was actually even more skilled at manipulating people than his younger brother, Xiaoliu. And he could be smiling one moment and terrifying the next. The young assistant quickly lowered his head. "I understand. Feel free to come tonight." Upon hearing his words, Xiaojian's calm face suddenly broke into a smile, ironically. A smile that felt like a warm breeze. He patted the young assistant's shoulder, and sensing his fear, the smile deepened. "Be careful. Don't get hurt by your own people," Xiaojian whispered into the assistant's ear, his warm breath sending sweat down his spine. "You can leave now." Xiaojian withdrew and sat down by the floor-to-ceiling window in his office, overlooking the entire misty Desire City. Upon hearing that he could leave, the assistant's body suddenly weakened, nearly collapsing, but he eventually managed to stumble out. By then, there wasn't much left in the auction house. Although Lin Nan was wealthy, he didn't just snap up everything he saw. Such unsavory behavior was something Lin Nan disdained. However, he did manage to capture something. It was a fruit from a strange plant on a strange planet. Crushing it could create a wondrous illusion. As for how wondrous it was, the host simply gave him a look that said, "You know what I mean." Fearing that others wouldn't understand, the host then explained that a well-known aphrodisiac had achieved its desired effect using only 1/1000th of its extract. The extract itself was naturally different from the original, with similar functions but slightly different presentation. "Brother Lin, do you want this?" Upon hearing the description, Marshal Su immediately looked at Lin Nan. Lin Nan didn't respond directly, but instead asked, "Do you want it?" Marshal Su subconsciously glanced at Nana, but she seemed oblivious, expressionless. "Forget it. I'm old, and I don't have the energy of you young people. So, do you want it?" By the time Marshal Su said this, many people were already bidding. "These guys are so disgusting." Melissa naturally understood the host's introduction. She watched the men bidding frantically with an inexplicable revulsion, and from time to time, she would secretly glance at Lin Nan, curious whether he would bid. At this moment, in response to Su Deshui's question, Lin Nan replied calmly, "No. Lin, don't care for this kind of thing. I'm completely disgusted by it, even disgusted by it." "Oh, so that's how it is. I didn't realize Brother Lin was asexual." Su Deshui smiled slightly. No, I just hate using other things," Lin Nan explained. Su Deshui nodded, a look of understanding. "So Brother Lin enjoys the most primal excitement." As he said this, Su Deshui couldn't help but smirk. "Then this thing is out of our reach." Su Deshui sat up straighter, because all those words just now were just whispered to Lin Nan. However, seeing Su Deshui straighten himself up, Lin Nan gently pulled him back. "Don't worry, it's so good." "No, I mean, how can we let such an interesting thing be out of our reach?" Hearing Lin Nan's words, Su Deshui was confused. He didn't know what Lin Nan meant. He only heard Lin Nan explain softly, "Actually, I have a friend." If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 217 Hunting Plan. What I meant was, my friend really loves these wonderful things, and I was thinking of buying them for him. He'd definitely be delighted, Lin Nan explained. Oh, Marshal Su suddenly smiled meaningfully. I see. I didn't expect Brother Lin to be so righteous. I wasn't wrong about you. But Brother Lin Nan, hurry up, it's about to be one. What? Lin Nan quickly turned to look at the host's desk. The item was already being auctioned off to Miguang, and the host was counting down. The God-desiring fruit is up for auction. 1.5 billion once. 1.5 billion twice. 1 billion, how could this be possible? For a friend. Lin Nan quickly raised Marshal Su's hand. Wait, I'll offer 2 billion. My friend wants it, but he's too embarrassed to ask, so I'll just do it for him. Upon hearing 2 billion, everyone quickly turned their heads and looked behind them. They were startled to see it was Lin Nan, but after hearing his words, their eyes turned to Marshal Su. Marshal Su was stunned. Brother Lin, why are you saying that? Sorry, Brother Su, I bought it from my friend. But I have to be proud, Lin Nan said sheepishly. Just because you have some respect, does that mean I don't? Marshal Su shook his head helplessly. Forget it. As someone who's been through it, I know young people like you are shy. It's nothing to worry about. Just say it sooner next time. Hey, Lin Nan smiled and turned around to see Melissa looking at him. The woman's eyes kept darting between Marshal Su and him, a look of disgust on her face. Lin Nan didn't care. Some people might be disgusted at first, but eventually become attached. Meanwhile, Lin Nan noticed that the man who was planning to assassinate him, Kinkin, was also looking at him with disdain. What the hell are you looking at? I told you Marshal Su bought it. If you keep looking, I'll give you this thing. Lin Nan glared at her bluntly. Kinkin clearly hadn't expected Lin Nan to actually look at her, and she even lashed out with a blunt eye contact. At this point, Kinkin, unceremoniously, made a subtle gesture of wiping her neck. Lin Nan, intensifying, pointed directly at her mouth and lip read, "Wash your mouth." As a 9th rank expert, and the saint of the Zunzun Hall, she was quite skilled at lip reading. But after understanding Lin Nan's words, the tall, beautiful Kinkin was left bewildered. Why should I wash my mouth? Could it be? Is he trying to secretly poison me? How shameless. The old woman from the Zunzun Hall, noticing Kinkin's silent exchange with Lin Nan, briefly tried to intervene, but seeing the growing fury in Kinkin's eyes, she gave up trying to dissuade him. However, to avoid unnecessary complications, he still offered a reminder: high-level hunters don't engage in excessive communication with their prey, because the moment the prey sees the hunter, it's already dead. I hope you'll remember this, my dear daughter. Indeed, just as he'd said, Kinkin was his daughter. Kinkin nodded silently and turned around without a backward glance. By this time, Gui Bodhi had already made up his mind that Lin Nan, who had stolen his treasure chest, would not survive the night. The final price for the Desire God fruit is 2 billion. Are there any more bids? The host looked at the crowd. A deep silence fell from the audience. The host then turned to Mi Gong. After all, he had made the 1.5 billion offer. And he was perhaps the only one willing to continue competing with Lin Nan. However, Mi Gong no longer had the motivation to continue the competition, even though it was a one-sided one. Very rich, huh? You like to show off, don't you? After tonight, I'll make you a complete pauper. Mi Gong was truly furious. As a rising star, he had originally planned to flaunt his 1 trillion yuan bid at the auction. But, to his absurd surprise, he was repeatedly blocked. By this point, he had completely deemed Lin Nan a thorn in his side, determined not to stop until he was eliminated. With a god-desiring fruit finally being won by Lin Nan, Mi Gong's assistant arrived. After explaining Xiaojian's intentions, Mi Gong suddenly had an idea. Go directly to the organizers and do as I say, Mi Gong whispered into his assistant's ear. The assistant's frown softened, figuring his boss had a solution. Then, the assistant headed towards the organizers. The hunt has begun. Now we just wait for the prey to take the bait. Mi Gong looked at Lin Nan, a subtle hint of contempt playing on his lips. However, he didn't notice that Lin Nan also wore a wicked smile. In fact, Lin Nan had noticed Mi Gong's assistant the moment he entered the auction. He could sense a sense of danger emanating from Mi Gong's direction, a feeling that intensified after his assistant returned. This meant they were already beginning to formulate their own plan. Thinking of this, Lin Nan's smile widened. Great. The enemy is frantically advancing towards the encirclement. I bet Chen Hun and the others are ravenous and thirsty. No one had guessed. Even the 9th rank masters, beyond sensing the faint presence of powerful figures around them, remained unaware that nearly 99 of the universe's most renowned masters sat in this small auction hall. Several of them had even reached the 9th rank. These were the masters the world had high hopes for, anticipating their divine might after ascending to the 9th rank. Yet, until now, no one had been able to force them to unleash their true 9th rank power. Lin Nan glanced at the auction clock. It was already afternoon, and the auction was slowly approaching its final lot. Some people who had been drowsy from the start, looking as if they had been forced to come to the auction, began to perk up. Even Gui Bodhi, whose goal was not to hear, began to look up at the host's desk. Almost everyone was concentrating. The last auction item, the grand finale, was destined to be no ordinary item. And he was the target that many people were determined to obtain, even with Lin Nan's presence. I believe everyone has been waiting anxiously. We will bring you the last grand finale auction item. Please stay tuned, As the host finished speaking, the entire auction hall suddenly went dark. Chapter 218 The Raging Star Beast. Star Beast. Through Marshall Su's introduction, Lin Nan had already learned that the final auction item was none other than the Star Beast, coveted as a pet by people throughout the universe. Its rarity was no less than that of Earth's giant panda. However, in the capital-driven universe, this adorable creature wasn't as fortunate. Wild star beasts were not only extremely rare, but practically extinct. In the past few years, sightings of a wild star beast had been rare. Only a few months ago, it was rumored that one had been sighted in Star Town, the star beast's home planet. Since then, there had been no further reports. These days, a single star beast fetches an exorbitant price. Consequently, the mere mention of one attracted a large number of hunters to Star Town. Due to the terrifying nature of the great wilderness, no one dared to venture into the wilderness. Even those who ventured in either failed to find one or were reduced to nothing but dust. This demonstrates just how precious star beasts truly are. After hearing all this news about the star beast, Lin Nan recalled the girl named Chen Yu he met in Starry Sky Town, and of course, the star beast named Xioxing. I wonder what's happening with them now. Lin Nan suddenly missed a girl. After their last sighting, she had journeyed into the depths of the great wilderness, and they had lost contact. With all the lights dimmed, the long-awaited starry sky still hadn't appeared. What's going on? Why is it so slow? What's going on, organizers? We've been waiting for so long, and they're still making us wait. That's right, I'm afraid of the dark. Turn on the lights, princess, keep your voice down. Just as everyone was beginning to chatter, a soft, childlike voice suddenly rang out. Hey, I think I hear a princess coming. What's so strange about that? Many planets are still in their backward colonial period. It's normal to have princesses. Who said we're backward? Watch me spank him, the incredibly soft voice echoed again. Oh, my princess, if you keep making such a fuss, we'll be arrested. Keep your voice down, please, a middle-aged man's voice echoed. The princess seemed about to say something else, but just then, the host on stage suddenly spoke. Sorry, everyone, we've kept you waiting. The star beast is here. As he finished speaking, a massive star beast, as if controlled, approached the vast entrance of the auction hall with heavy steps. As it approached, the darkness around them suddenly transformed into a starry sky. Ouch! Screams echoed. Hundreds of people attended the auction, but not a single one turned on any lights. They seemed to be completely engrossed in the scene. It's so beautiful. It's worth my trip. I declare this star beast mine, the soft voice echoed again. As the star beast's massive body approached the front, everyone seemed to disappear into the starry sky. In the starlight, Lin Nan saw that the girl who called herself this baby was actually a small Lolita. She had been sleeping on the table before, perhaps because she was wearing a hoodie, so she hadn't noticed. The middle-aged man beside him looked like an ordinary person, and like any other, he was completely immersed in the starry sky. Just then, everyone noticed a masked man following the star beast. 9th rank. Lin Nan, after reading the system introduction, was surprised to discover that this man was a 9th rank beastmaster. A beastmaster is someone who can control exotic beasts. He followed the star beast closely, presumably controlling it. As they drew closer to the auction table, the star beast suddenly stopped moving. The masked man continued to follow, but just as he lifted his left leg, he froze for a moment before reaching out to grab the star beast. Instantly, a tremendous force emanated from the star beast. As if it had discovered something, it roared frantically towards the auction table, even threatening to pounce. Lin Nan caught its eye, as if it were looking at him. Just as Lin Nan was about to confirm, General Su suddenly grabbed him and Nanako, one in each hand, and began to crawl under the seat. It looks like a rampaging star beast. Be careful to avoid it. Just then, Lin Nan saw the little princess actually open her arms to hug him, which frightened the middle-aged man nearby, who quickly stepped between them. The star beast continued to roar, even more furiously when Lin Nan was dragged under the chair. The host was stunned. Just as the star beast was about to pounce on the auction table, the 9th level beastmaster finally restrained it. He then quickly guided it away. Ah, where are you going? That's my star beast. The little princess, watching the star beast flee, almost wanted to chase after it, but the middle-aged man nearby stopped her. With the star beast's departure, the farce finally came to an end. At that moment, the organizers rushed to the rescue. We're sorry to have startled everyone. We don't know why the previously fine star beast suddenly went berserk. You can see the markings on its body, there are still many of them, which means it's not a natural berserk. A natural berserk refers to the state of a star beast that becomes violent after all its markings disappear. The little star Lin Nan had seen earlier had only one star left on its body. This was why Lin Nan didn't mistake that star beast for little star. I don't care. I want the one that went berserk. I'm rich. Sell it to me, boss. Princess Loli's voice trembled, clearly indicating her fondness for the star beast. Being called boss, the organizer curled his lips in silence. Before he could say anything, someone in the crowd chimed in, "Yeah, we don't care if it goes berserk or not. Let's start filming. I've been waiting for ages." That's right, we've been waiting for ages too. Lin Nan was impressed by these people's dedication to the star beast. He wasn't interested in such adorable creatures anyway, so he decided not to compete with them. Even so, the organizers didn't proceed with the auction, instead resuming it 3 days later. Everyone was frustrated, but there was nothing they could do. To make up for the displeasure this mistake has caused everyone, we've prepared a sumptuous dinner at Mr. Mi's home. Originally, Mr. Mi was treating everyone to a feast as a courtesy, but since this has happened, we are willing to cover half of the cost. Please come as promised. Chapter 219 Banquet. Especially you, as a major customer of this auction house, I sincerely hope you can come. The organizer looked at Lin Nan with great sincerity. At the same time, everyone's eyes were fixed on him. Most of those present were well-known figures in Wuizi City, and even if they were not, they had spent a lot of money to come. The organizer's words were clearly offensive. What? I buy less, so I'm not your major customer. Anyone would be offended by such words. However, if these words were said to Lin Nan, they truly believed it was not wrong. Because compared to Lin Nan, who spent tens of trillions of dollars on a box, they really were nothing. What should we do? Brother Lin, what are your plans? Before Lin Nan could respond, Marshal Su suddenly asked. Lin Nan smiled. Of course we have to go, and we'll go now. I'm afraid they'll change their minds and not let us go. What should I do? That's not right, Marshal Su said again. Don't you sense something's wrong? What's wrong? They invited us so kindly. Are they even offering us money? Lin Nan's words left Marshal Su stunned. At that moment, Nanazi, standing beside him, suddenly laughed. Marshal Su was even more confused. Lin Nan also responded to the organizer, nodding slightly. Okay, thank you for your kindness, the organizer nodded, but Mi Gong, sitting at the back, let a subtle sneer cross his lips. I should be the one thanking you for your kindness. I didn't expect the prey to take the bait so easily, Mi Gong thought to himself, his eyes growing colder. Lin Nan looked like a corpse to him. But the next moment, his eyes softened as he noticed Lin Nan was actually smiling back at him. We still have to put on a good front. Mi Gong quickly smiled back. As for why Lin Nan was smiling at him, Mi Gong had no doubts. After all, he was half the host. This guy is really stupid and rich. I guess he's going to get away this time. The little princess suddenly said this. She was very measured, speaking in a voice that only he and the person next to her could hear. Before she could finish her sentence, the man beside her immediately covered her mouth. Princess, you can't say that in this kind of situation. And after the auction is over, you have to go back to the hotel with me to wait for the 3-day auction. You can't go anywhere, understand? The little princess heard his words and immediately put her hands on her hips. I want to eat delicious food. Others are hosting me, why can't I go? The man didn't know what to say. As expected. I knew bringing you out here was not a good idea. The man shook his head helplessly, acquiescing. Don't worry. I promise I won't run around. I'll go back with you after dinner. Besides, with you protecting me, how could I be in danger? The little princess said. I hope so, the man sighed. Meanwhile, Melissa looked at Ghost Bodhi. Mother-in-law, are we going? Ghost Bodhi refused without a second thought. I don't care about places like that. You all should come back with me. You can't go anywhere, especially you. Ghost Bodhi looked at his daughter, Kinkin. Let's practice the hunting plan again. We must make sure it's foolproof, especially making sure we get the box. Kinkin nodded firmly. Don't worry, mother. I'm absolutely sure we can handle him. That's best. Ghost Bodhi nodded. Melissa, who was standing by, listened to the conversation between the two. She didn't show anything on the surface. But she was always worried. Be careful, Lin Nan. Report to Boss Xia, the fish has been hooked. Now we are waiting for you to arrive and close the net, Assistant Mi Gong secretly called Xia Jian, and the other party sneered after hearing it. It's really boring. It's so easy to get hooked. There is really no challenge. Xia Liu, who was standing by, felt particularly relieved after hearing it. Father will be back in a few days. When he knows that we have kidnapped the big fish, he will definitely reward us handsomely. I'm excited just thinking about it, Xia Jian nodded. He looked at Xia Liu and then asked, by the way, how are the people I asked you to arrange going? All are in place. Lord Dragon God also said that he will rush to Mi Gong's villa soon. When he needs him to take action, he will never be stingy. Well, this is our trump card and cannot be used easily. Xia Jian pondered for 2 seconds and said, let's start the banquet now. There's no rush. Let the big fish have some fun for a while. They'll have their day to cry later. I'll do whatever my brother says. Xia Liu found a seat, but he was still thinking about the reward they'd receive from their father after the deal was done. Meanwhile, Lin Nan, considered the big fish, had arrived at Mi Gong's villa. The place was filled with birdsong and flowers, a pleasant environment, and a vast lake. This villa, covering millions of acres, was definitely a resort. After Mi Gong's insignificant welcome speech, some local entertainment followed. The banquet was quite grand. Although the guests were small, it was clear that Mi Gong had invested a considerable amount of money. Lin Nan surveyed the entire banquet, his smile growing even wider. So rich. Is this how the rich live? I'll definitely collect more ransoms later. Mi Gong saw Lin Nan nodding repeatedly at his villa, thinking he was appreciating it, and he started to show off a bit. If he knew Lin Nan's true thoughts, he'd probably be furious. As dusk gradually fell, the banquet gradually gathered momentum. Mi Gong has done a great job. These foods are all of the highest quality. It seems he's really made a fortune these days. A guest picked up a small piece of cake made of unknown ingredients, took a bite, and couldn't help but praise it endlessly. What do you know? It's said that Mi Gong has hooked up with a nobleman. If I could hook up with that kind of nobleman, maybe I'd be even more successful than him, said one guest. But just as he finished speaking, the expression of the person opposite him suddenly froze. He was about to ask what was wrong, but he didn't realize that Mi Gong was standing behind him. The gossiper had met the real target. He was also stunned. Chapter 220. I have never seen so much money. But before the man could recover, a large group of aircraft suddenly arrived outside the villa. Mi Gong, seeing this, didn't argue with the man any further and turned to greet them. Is this the distinguished guest? The two men exchanged bewildered glances. Why hasn't he arrived yet? Did I guess wrong? Is this mean-looking Mi Gong actually a good guy? Lin Nan was puzzled. Why hadn't the people who were supposed to deal with him appeared yet? No, if he was really a good guy, then I definitely wouldn't sense that sense of danger emanating from him. Which means those people haven't arrived yet. Lin Nan, who was in the hall, hadn't yet sensed the arrival of the Xia Jian and Xia Liu brothers. Marshal Su, standing nearby, also nudged Lin Nan. Brother Lin, something's not right. I just feel it. Do you think this Mi Gong will cause us trouble? I remember you warned me to be careful of him at the auction. But knowing it was a Hongman feast, why did you come back? Of course it's about the money, Lin Nan replied calmly, then whispered, you'll find out in a moment. With that, Lin Nan headed out of the hall, wanting to see why the troublemakers hadn't arrived yet. As he emerged, he noticed a group of heavily armed, suspicious-looking men finally appearing throughout the villa complex. This is over. A real fight is about to break out. The little princess and her personal guards were hiding off to the side, enjoying a cupcake while keeping a close eye on the strange figures. When she saw Lin Nan emerge from the hall, she knew the real show was about to begin. Xia Jian and Xia Liu, who were chatting with Mi Gong, saw Lin Nan suddenly appear on the hall steps. They exchanged a smile, knowing this was their prey. Xia Liu tried to approach and tie him up, but Xia Jian stopped him in time. Don't be so reckless. Be patient with your prey. Don't disturb them. Even if they're destined to be ours. With these words, Xia Jian walked over, followed closely by Xia Liu and Mi Gong, looking ready to accuse him. I heard you spent 20 trillion on a crappy box. How come you're rich? Xia Jian asked directly, without any polite words. Lin Nan had initially harbored a lingering fear. What if this person wasn't out to cause trouble? But now, As soon as the person spoke, Lin Nan sensed the underlying threat. From the look in his eyes, "You're the one I'm looking for," Lin Nan's worry instantly turned to ecstasy. Few people, despite knowing the danger, remain unfazed and instead rejoice, but Lin Nan is one of them. Instantly, Lin Nan feigned a delicate air. The reason for this was that he was worried he'd scare away his prize. "That? Yes, I'm quite wealthy. I still have." Lin Nan adjusted his bracelet and threw it, displaying the remaining balance. "Never mind, just look for yourself." Lin Nan's action stunned everyone. Oh my god, this guy is truly clueless. Doesn't he realize they're looking for trouble? This is the first time in my life I've ever seen someone deliberately flaunt their succulent meat. Even the man next to the little princess was a little confused by Lin Nan's actions. However, Mi Gong, who was standing behind him, suddenly felt frustrated. Damn it. If I'd known he was so clueless, I wouldn't have asked the Xia family to get involved and would have kept it all myself. Xiaojian hadn't expected Lin Nan to be so obedient. Seeing the bracelet thrown to him, Xiaojian instinctively caught it. His eyes immediately falling on the number on it. As the most powerful criminal force in the City of Mist and Desire, Xiaojian had seen countless people, but this time, everyone saw his expression froze, just like the organizers' expression when they saw the balance on Lin Nan's bracelet. Xiaoliu's heart skipped a beat. He slowly walked over to Xiaojian and subconsciously glanced at the number on the bracelet. Oh my god, Xiaoliu rubbed his eyelids in disbelief, then took a closer look to make sure he wasn't mistaken. At this moment, Xiaojian also came to his senses. The two brothers exchanged glances, their faces suddenly filled with ecstasy. Brother, I've never seen so much money in my life. Brother, to be honest, I haven't either. I knew he was rich, but I didn't expect him to be this rich. Xiaoliu, his younger brother, asked again, Brother, what should we do now? Shouldn't we disturb him? Unexpectedly, Xiaojian unsheathed his sword. Don't disturb him. This is a fat sheep, not even father has ever seen. We must not let him get away. Seeing Xiaojian pull out a sword, Lin Nan's face instantly flashed with horror. Ah! What are you doing? Put away your swords, and give me back my bracelet. Marshal Su had already stood beside Lin Nan. Seeing Lin Nan's effeminate demeanor, he was stunned, thinking this was not the Lin brother he had imagined. Seeing Lin Nan's reaction, Xiaojian and Xiaoliu became even more excited. Initially, Xiaojian had tried to play it safe, but now, he was completely overwhelmed by the trillions of cash. Some people say they despise money, but that's simply because they haven't got enough. Once a staggering fortune is placed before them, easily within their grasp, anyone will be tempted, even become greedy. Seeing Xiaojian unsheath his weapon, the attendees gradually began to react. This was a Hongmen banquet. Just as they were wondering if they would be implicated, Xiaojian glanced at them and declared, Everyone present, stay where you are. Anyone who dares to move will be killed. With these words, Xiaojian turned his head and looked at Lin Nan with greed, his saliva practically dripping from his mouth. He wanted to deal with the big fat sheep first, then deal with the remaining smaller ones. Don't bother. We can't send out a call for help from the Star Alliance. We've completely isolated this place. Xiaoliu saw someone stealthily taking a communicator, apparently intending to call the police. He didn't panic, but simply stepped forward and kicked the person. You may not know this, but we are the Xia family, the ruling family of the entire underground kingdom of the Mist Desire City. Our interest in you is a testament to our recognition of your wealth. You should be proud. Chapter 221, Clarity. Many of these people were aliens, so it was understandable they had never heard of the Xia family. However, some of the natives of the City of Mist Desire began to panic upon hearing about it. I was wondering how this guy, Mi Gong, got so high up. Turns out he really has someone close to him. Then what should we do? This is doomed. I heard the Xia family is so rampant because their people have connections with the highest-ranking officials in our Galaxy Star Alliance. Alice, there's nothing we can do. We'll just have to pay for our lives. I heard the Xia family won't take action, but once they do, they'll strip you bare. These people murmured quietly. Xiaoliu didn't stop them. Instead, he felt a sense of relief listening to their fearful words. I didn't expect you to be such a big fat sheep. It's a shame you're just a brainless big sheep. Xiaojian looked at the trembling Lin Nan, feeling a sense of relief. Can you let me die with a clear conscience? Lin Nan suddenly asked. Of course, but my brother already told me we're from the Xia family. Don't you have ears? And I have to say one thing, You might have misunderstood. We Zias act for money, not for our lives. So, as long as you behave, I won't kill you. Xiajian's words were half-truths. Previously, the Xia family hadn't often killed people, but Lin Nan was different. Lin Nan had so much money, the power behind such a person must be extraordinary. So, to avoid further complications, Xiajian decided to do it cleanly this time, and if necessary, get rid of all these people. No, I know you're from the Xia family. What I want to know when I die is, how much money do you have, huh? Everyone was confused. What kind of question was that? Who would ask someone how much money they have before dying? This was simply bizarre. Even the little princess, who had previously thought Lin Nan was a little silly, gradually began to think that Lin Nan was not only foolish, but even eccentric. Marshal Su, however, suddenly understood. Good man, going around in circles and pretending to be a coward, so this is what he was trying to do. At that moment, Marshal Su finally understood everything, and the look he gave Xiajian changed. Previously, he'd thought this guy was courting death by provoking Lin Nan. Now, it seemed that not only would he die, but he'd also be left with no money in his pocket before he died. Why are you asking that? I don't know. At this point, Xiajian bluntly rejected Lin Nan's question. Lin Nan remained calm, then said with a look of fear, I just want to know how poor you are to do something like this. Don't misunderstand me, I have no ill intentions. And I swear, if you're willing to tell me, I'll cooperate and ask my dad for money. After all, how can my pocket money cover you all? Upon hearing this, their hearts pounded. This is the most money I've ever seen in my life, and it's your pocket money. I was wondering why you don't know how to be more restrained. It seems like this money is nothing to you, just pocket money. It was clear that they were completely overwhelmed by Lin Nan's words. However, Xiajian still didn't want to say anything. You might think we're just robbing, but we're kidnapping. Even if you don't call your dad, I'll do it for you. Lin Nan was stunned by his words. A colleague. It seems I'm not the only one who's spotted this business opportunity. Seeing he still hadn't gotten any information out of him, Lin Nan remained calm. That's not the case. I'm just curious. If you're willing to talk, I won't have to force you. How about I ask for the money? Of course, you can force me, but voluntary versus forced is more effective. You decide. Lin Nan's words struck a chord with Xiajian. Mi Gong was practically mad at this scene. He hadn't expected Lin Nan, despite appearing so cold and stern, to be such a softie. Now he was truly regretting it. If he could have managed to get Lin Nan for himself, he might have become the richest man in all of Misty Desire City, perhaps even the entire galaxy. What a shame, what a shame, what a ripoff, what a ripoff. The little lolly princess nearby was completely stunned by Lin Nan's unscrupulous actions. Asking his father for money for the sake of a robber, isn't that a ripoff? I was so lucky I was even thinking about getting to know him. Now I'm really not interested at all. He's a wimp. The little Lolita princess had wanted to meet Lin Nan because she'd seen him at the auction house, beating out the competition with 20 trillion yuan. She'd been captivated by his cool, decisive demeanor. At that moment, she'd sensed a unique charm in him. However, his only flaw was his handsomeness, which made him seem effeminate. She didn't like young, fresh-faced men. She preferred a bit more violence. The more violent, the more thrilling, though certainly not the kind of mindless violence. Lin Nan at this moment seemed completely different from her previous impression, and she instantly lost interest in him. Xiajian, on his part, had finally been persuaded. He preferred initiative over coercion. After all, it wasn't a big deal. It was just an asset, wasn't it? Anyone who cared could find it. Besides, Xiajian didn't want to reveal the actual figure. Total assets, about 100 trillion, this figure was actually half of his actual assets. Hearing this number, Lin Nan finally smiled. Then 200 trillion, Lin Nan mentally doubled the amount for the other party. As for why, it was obvious, if they couldn't pay it back, they could always borrow money, right? Furthermore, Lin Nan knew Xiajian would definitely be holding back. As we agreed earlier, call your father. I don't want much, just add a 0 to your allowance, Xiajian said calmly. Yet, his outward composure betrayed his inner turmoil. Adding a 0, it would be 100 trillion, enough for his descendants to prosper for generations to come. When his descendants spoke of their incredibly wealthy family, they would remember their ancestor, Xiajian, who had given them a life they would envy for generations to come. At this thought, Xiaojian's composure instantly shifted, his lips even curling upwards slightly, as if he couldn't help but smile. However, his outstretched hand remained suspended in the air. Lin Nan made no move to take the communicator from his hand. Didn't you hear what I said clearly? Seeing that Lin Nan was unmoved, Xiaojian deliberately made a very ferocious expression, trying to scare the coward in his eyes. However, there seemed to be something wrong with this coward in front of them. What was wrong? His body, which was originally trembling and a little hunched, suddenly became straight. And as his body stood up straight, his temperament changed instantly. The little face that seemed to be bullied suddenly showed a wicked smile. He looked at Xiaojian in front of him. Somehow, Xiaojian staggered and almost fell. Chapter 222 Xiaoliu's death. Lin Nan before him seemed like a completely different person. Not only Xiaojian, but everyone present noticed the difference. Xiaojian's henchmen and guards had tightly surrounded Lin Nan and the others. They had initially thought he was safe, but now they all sensed the unsettling aura emanating from him. How could they have known that Lin Nan's demonic aura was the product of countless slaughters, accumulated bit by bit? Compared to these robbers and kidnappers, the difference between him and the devil was like an angel. Were you faking that just now? Xiaojian finally realized something was wrong. This wasn't the Lin Nan of old. Clearly, his soft-hearted persona was a complete fabrication. And indeed, it was. Lin Nan nodded and said calmly, "If you're not faking it, can you tell me all your family's assets?" "While what I'm telling you now may not be true, I think it's close enough." Lin Nan's words startled everyone present. The little princess, in particular, realized upon seeing Lin Nan's current appearance that it had been a misunderstanding. This was his true self. However, everyone was puzzled. Why was he pretending to be so as to obtain his financial information? Xiaojian didn't know why, but he had a vague suspicion. "You're not planning to kidnap and extort us using this information I've shared with you, are you?" It wasn't hard to guess. As a professional kidnapper, this was the most likely scenario he could come up with. Even so, he still didn't quite believe this was Lin Nan's true intention. Nevertheless, Xiaojian casually asked. Lin Nan replied, "Does the word kidnapper look like it's written on my face?" "You actually guessed it, what?" When Lin Nan said the first part, they hadn't taken it seriously, thinking Xiaojian had guessed wrong. But then, with the second part, Lin Nan took a sudden turn, leaving everyone stunned. Xiaojian had actually guessed correctly. The little princess, not far away, was immediately intrigued. The kidnapper was kidnapped, a plot that only appeared in novels, and yet it actually happened. However, Lin Nan's strength was practically exposed to everyone. A 7th-rank power. Nanazi and General Su, standing nearby, were no more powerful than him. If they were truly planning a kidnapping, their strength would be seriously lacking. After all, for this big deal, the brothers Xiaojian and Xiaoliu had brought nearly all of the Xia clan's elite, nearly 10 9th-rank masters and nearly 100 8th-rank masters. This force far surpassed even the strength of even the most powerful Star Region commanders. Therefore, Lin Nan's attempt to kidnap them was, in their eyes, like an egg hitting a stone. Haha. This is hilarious. With your strength, you still want to kidnap me? You just have a little money, but you really think you can defeat my men? Xiaojian couldn't help but laugh, and the surrounding Xia clan masters joined in the laughter. Clearly, they considered Lin Nan to be overestimating his abilities. Xiaoliu, standing behind him, was even more disdainful. He stretched out his neck, pointed at his face, and said, "Aren't you trying to kidnap us? Look at this whole Mist Desire City. Do you dare touch me?" Lin Nan had never seen such a despicable person, actually sticking his face out to be beaten. If he didn't, wouldn't it be unfair to him? Lin Nan said calmly, "Any of you can come, just beat them to death." Life or death depended on Lin Nan. As soon as Lin Nan finished speaking, Xiaoliu felt as if he had been locked onto by a predatory beast. His originally disdainful expression froze. As a hunter, he felt like he had become the prey. Is this an illusion? Xiaoliu felt his heart pounding. What's wrong, Xiaoliu? Xiaojian, noticing something strange about his brother, asked hurriedly. At this moment, Xiaoliu's expression became even uglier, as he realized that no one present, even the 9th-rank experts, had noticed anything unusual. It seemed as if he alone felt locked onto something. He looked at Lin Nan again, who was staring straight at him. He was overcome with fear. Xiaoliu quickly turned with immense difficulty. "Brother, save me." As soon as Xiao Liu's words rang out, the 9th rank warriors in the crowd sensed something was amiss. There are enemies nearby. Protect the 2 young masters. However, by the time they realized what was happening, it was already too late. A massive force, like a fierce dragon crossing a river, instantly surged towards Xiao Liu. Everyone was toppled by the force, except Lin Nan and the others, who remained unscathed. Xiao Liu finally discerned the source of this force, a man with a familiar face. Itachi Hunter. As a long-established 8th rank warrior, Itachi Hunter was as well known as a celebrity. And the moment Xiao Liu realized his identity, the force struck him. In my entire life, I've never seen anyone so brazen as to allow a blow. You're definitely the first. I'll make you get what you want. As soon as he finished speaking, the 9th rank master unleashed a full-strength attack, hurling himself directly at Xiao Liu. Xiao Liu's body suddenly shone with dazzling light. That light flickered continuously, reflecting the shattering of his protective devices. Even with powerful protection, it was no match for the Weasel Hunter. In mere seconds, the dozens of flashing protective devices on Xiao Liu's body finally shattered one by one, accompanied by Xiao Liu's piercing screams. Everyone watched as Xiao Liu was sent flying through the air, his body disintegrating in mid-air. Upon landing, only clumps of flesh remained. Xiao Liu paid a heavy price for his ignorance. The scene was so sudden that no one could react. When they finally recovered, all they saw were pieces of shredded flesh. The second son of the Xia family. Dead just like that. They looked at Lin Nan and Yao Li, all of them in a state of bewilderment. Good thing he died. I was just worried about how to kill him. Now he's dead, it saves me a lot of effort. Xia Jian thought so, but even so, the way he looked at Lin Nan became more and more sinister. You actually killed my brother. Are you going to make an enemy of the entire Xia family? Hearing his words, Lin Nan curled his lips in disdain. Make an enemy of the entire Xia family? That's really funny. Let me ask, can you bear to be your enemy? Chapter 223 Starburst. Lin Nan's words stunned everyone. This man was truly arrogant. He actually asked if the Xia family could handle it. After all, the Xia family was the underground empire of the entire Misty Desire City, a super conglomerate with total assets of 200 trillion. You're so arrogant. You're a well-known and established leader, now even promoted to the 9th rank, so why would you follow someone like that? Someone like that? He glanced at Lin Nan, then at Xia Jian, then said with disdain, isn't someone like our boss better than trash like you? Me? Trash? Xia Jian was stunned. He hadn't expected that the renowned leader, Itachi, would consider him trash. Itachi nodded seriously, then looked at Lin Nan again. Boss, how about I help you get rid of this trash too? Lin Nan shook his head. If you kill this guy, how can I collect the ransom? Isn't that what you're talking about? Lin Nan glanced at Xia Jian with disdain. The latter had never experienced such treatment before, and immediately flew into a rage. You only managed to sneak past my men through a sneak attack, and that's how you killed my brother. In a real fight, even if you were Weasel Hunter, you wouldn't be able to defeat a Xia family expert like me. With that, the 10 9th rank masters all stepped forward, tightly surrounding Lin Nan and the others. Lin Nan curled his lips helplessly. You're really not crying until you see the coffin. I'll beat you until you're convinced. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Nan waved his hand, intending to call on all the Dark Gold Saints. However, just then, Weasel Hunter turned around and looked at Lin Nan, saying, Boss, I want to challenge them one-on-one. I haven't fought them much since I reached the 9th rank. Even when we were clearing monsters on Kimu Wolf Star, they couldn't withstand a single blow from me. Lin Nan understood Weasel Hunter's intention. After all, the night was long, so he could play with them. Alright, let's go have some fun. Remember, beat them until they're convinced. With that, Lin Nan found a chair, picked up a glass of fruit wine, and slowly drank it. How arrogant. They simply don't take us seriously. Those 9th rank experts were surprised by Lin Nan and his group's arrogance. They were 9th rank at best, and being looked down upon like a fellow 9th ranker was unacceptable. Even if the opponent was Weasel Hunter, they couldn't tolerate it. Among Shajian's 9th rank team, there was a powerful expert, Ling Fengzi, who, while not as famous as Weasel Hunter, was nonetheless a renowned figure. His name was Ling Fengzi. His special power was wind, creating a massive energy field. Anyone entering it would be subjected to wind-attributed attacks that felt like being stabbed by 1,000 swords. Unless he was killed, this field could not be broken. forcing them to endure the excruciating pain even ninth-rank experts could not endure. Within his field, Ling Fengzi was like the wind, making him incredibly difficult to capture. Therefore, his overall combat prowess was not weak, and within the Xia clan, he was second only to the Dragon God. Brothers, let Weasel Hunter see our strength, 10 versus 1. This battle was practically a foregone conclusion. Even if Weasel Hunter were as powerful as he was, could he defeat 10 masters of the same level? They didn't believe it. But Lin Nan did. After all, although he hadn't seen Weasel Hunter's abilities, with his incredibly powerful combat suit, wouldn't it be as easy as taking something from a bag? Still, Lin Nan was curious about Weasel Hunter's abilities. According to the system description, Weasel Hunter's abilities were a bit like killing 1,000 but damaging 800. It summoned massive planets to bombard the enemy, while the player wasn't immune to the planet's damage. The ability was called Starburst, but Lin Nan had never seen its specifics. However, a battle between 9th-level masters could be devastating. So, Lin Nan offered temporary shelter worth 1 trillion yen to those chaebols who didn't want to die. The price was naturally high, and many chaebols were eager to plunder it. But if they found it too expensive, they could just stay out. He simply didn't bother haggling over 1 trillion yen. Marshal Su was in charge of collecting the money. No wonder you're so rich. You're a natural at business. Just then, the little princess, who had been hiding nearby, also came over. She approached Lin Nan and generously showered him with compliments. You're so sweet. I'll give you the free meal. Lin Nan smiled faintly. Unexpectedly, the little princess wasn't interested. You provide services, so of course I have to pay. Don't worry, I have plenty of money. You have plenty of money. Lin Nan glanced at the little princess beside him and instinctively asked, would you mind revealing your assets? The little princess, the man beside her, was also bewildered by Lin Nan's words. Haha. Just kidding. I won't cause trouble unless I'm offended. After hearing Lin Nan's words, the little princess breathed a sigh of relief. At the same time, her interest in the man before her grew. With everything ready, the battle began, and both sides were on edge from the start. Ling Fengzi unleashed his domain, instantly swirling a gust of wind around Weasel Hunter. The rumble of the rushing wind was palpable, accompanied by what seemed like damage. Seemingly was because, thanks to his combat suit, Weasel Hunter felt no pain at all. Meanwhile, the remaining 9 ninth-rank warriors rushed forward. Almost instantly, the ground cracked. Weasel Hunter stood unmoved amidst the attacks. Is my swift wind blade formation domain malfunctioning? Why can't I feel Weasel Hunter taking any damage? No, the swift wind blade formation's power is still there. If it weren't for your protection, we'd have been struck, a 9th-rank warrior suddenly exclaimed. Immediately afterwards, another voice was heard saying, but there's something wrong with Weasel Hunter. My attacks didn't react at all. Is it because he's lost his sense of pain? So he can't feel pain. It was bizarre. No matter how strong you are, if you're attacked by an opponent of your same rank, you'll have to frown in pain. After all, this was the strongest attack of these 9th-order warriors. But no. The Weasel Hunter was in the middle of Ling Fengzi's Gale Blade formation, facing the continuous heavy blows. It seemed to be unaffected. The Weasel Hunter didn't give them much time to attack. They failed to inflict serious damage, so it was the Weasel Hunter's turn to attack next. Suddenly, a sly smile appeared at the corner of his mouth, and then the sky changed. You can't withstand the Weasel Hunter's attack. Why don't you hide under my protection? I'll give it to you for free. Lin Nan looked at Xiaojian and smiled slightly. This was his financial sponsor. And Lin Nan didn't want him to die. At least not now. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 224, Starburst Power. Xiaojian snorted coldly. Ultimately, as he wished, he moved behind Lin Nan. The Xia family's 9th-rank subordinates sensed something was amiss. They had seen Weasel Hunter's strength before, but at that time, he was only 8th rank. Even so, they were shocked by his prowess. But now, Weasel Hunter was 9th rank. They had mistakenly assumed that Weasel Hunter's strength would increase after reaching 9th rank, but they hadn't expected him to be so formidable. Meanwhile, above the villa district, shrouded in darkness, reddened clouds could be seen. More precisely, it wasn't the clouds themselves that were reddening, but the massive stars above them, rubbing against the atmosphere, had stained the clouds red. "How about we run?" an unknown ninth-rank competitor suddenly said. This was like the straw that broke the camel's back. These ninth-rank competitors wouldn't sell their lives for any family. To them, survival held endless possibilities. So, like dominoes, his words shattered their last remaining defenses. "Run!" Ling Fengzi's voice rang out. Almost instantly, they scattered in all directions. "Do you think you can escape?" Itachi Hunter said disdainfully. The descending stars seemed slow, but they were actually accelerating. After summoning the starburst, Itachi Hunter attacked, intercepting them one by one. In just a dozen seconds, they were all annihilated by the starburst. This is a tactic that kills 1,000 enemies while injuring 800 of your own. Why are you making it so difficult for us? Ling Fengzi no longer cared to engage Itachi Hunter, he simply wanted to escape. Kill 1,000 enemies while injuring 800 of your own? That era is over. Now it's time for Itachi Hunter, to single-handedly slaughter you. What? The stopped 9th rank warriors were instantly shocked. If it was true as Itachi Hunter said, then Itachi Hunter's strength had simply increased exponentially. Originally, Itachi Hunter's self-inflicted damage from the starburst had prevented him from summoning a second round, as even he couldn't withstand the damage. However, if the truth was truly as he claimed, then as long as his ability points were sufficient, he could unleash endless starbursts, devastating his enemies. Even a legendary 9th rank couldn't withstand this kind of damage, so how could ordinary 9th ranks withstand it? I surrender. If you'll let me go, I'm willing to sign a slave contract with you and serve you for life, Ling Fengzi suddenly declared. The others heard this and chimed in. Yes, I surrender too. I'll sign the slave contract too, and me. Suddenly, everyone begged for mercy, willing to sign a slave contract just to stay alive. You have to know that this kind of slave contract, once signed, implants a lifelong technological restraint device in the body. If you disobey the master's orders or threaten to harm them, it will detonate your internal organs, instantly killing you. Xiaojian was naturally furious to see his own master submitting to someone else. However, while you might want to submit, Lin Nan might not necessarily want to. Weasel Hunter looked at Lin Nan, seeking his opinion, but he remained silent, saying simply, I want the evolution crystals within them. Lin Nan's words seemed to explain everything, and his reason was simple. He had no shortage of ordinary 9th ranks. He intended to use the evolution crystals within them to elevate legendary warriors like the Dark Gold Saints to the 9th rank. You saw, our boss won't accept you. Lin Nan's response shocked everyone. They hadn't expected Lin Nan to refuse the submission of these 9th rank warriors. What kind of background could this be? Faced with such powerful individuals, he would refuse them, even resorting to murder to obtain their crystals. For a moment, in everyone's eyes, Lin Nan truly became something of a deity. What's wrong? Are 9th Orders so powerful? Why are they so excited? The little princess looked at the man beside her, somewhat puzzled. He pondered for 2 seconds, then said calmly, 9th Orders should be the divine star quasi-realm beings we have. Divine star quasi-realm? The little princess pouted in shock. Then why doesn't he want them? They're also powerful. Wouldn't they be even more powerful as his subordinates? The man shook his head. Probably not. He glanced at a corner, then realized something was wrong and quickly turned away. The little princess was about to ask why, but at that moment, the celestial bodies in the sky descended. As previously mentioned, these celestial bodies would only accelerate. By the time they could clearly see the burning celestial bodies, they would only have seconds to react before being struck. And during the negotiation, the celestial bodies didn't stop, and these 9th Order experts didn't even think of leaving, believing that being accepted was only a matter of time. However, they were careless. And it was too late. The stars, like mountains, crashed down fiercely. The sheer number of them meant there was no time to dodge. They could already feel the intense heat from the stars, but the terrifying power of the starburst wasn't the crushing or scalding death, but the violent explosion. It was as powerful as tens of thousands of atomic bombs. A radiant protective shield could be seen all around them. Lin Nan had arranged for Luo Tian and the others to create this. After all, if the starburst's aftermath truly descended, the entire Mist Desire City would be affected. Lin Nan was only interested in making some money, not escalating the situation. Mercy! Mercy! Ling Fengzi and the others had lost all hope of resistance and instead begged for mercy. They had never imagined that 10 ninth level warriors would face off against one, yet be utterly defeated. We were only following Xiaojian's orders, we didn't want to offend your boss. It was too late to say anything now. The stars fell, and intense flames erupted from the stars' bodies. The entire Mist Desire City was engulfed in the starburst's blaze. A little girl nearby pulled out 2 small sunglasses from nowhere. The man next to her instinctively reached for them, only to see the little princess hand them directly to Lin Nan. You don't need them, the little princess said to the man in a proud tone. Lin Nan didn't hesitate and put them on. Seeing this scene, Xiaojian was stunned. He secretly hid in a corner and made a phone call. I'm Xia Sanlin, who are you? The other party, perhaps not knowing the caller's name, asked directly. At this time, Xiaojian said in a trembling voice, Father, it's me, Xiaojian, save me. Chapter 225 Old Grudge. Who dares to harm my son? Are you truly unaware of the prestige of our Xia family in the city of Mist and Desire? After dispatching Ling Fengzi and the others, Xiaojian's father, Xia Sanlin, quickly arrived on the scene. Behind him were a host of experts and advisors, a kind of mobile think tank and bodyguards. After all, this was one of the most powerful families in the city of Mist and Desire. Among them, the leader, besides Xia Sanlin, was an elderly man with a sage-like demeanor, white hair, and a youthful face, possessing a certain authority. He towered behind Xia Sanlin like a colossal Buddha. This man has some strength, the little princess's accompanying guard remarked calmly. His eyes seemed to see through everything. He glanced at Lin Nan again, his lips curling slightly, thinking, this time, you might have hide a wall. Is this man really that strong? The little princess shared a hint of doubt. The guard nodded. At least in this plane, this person is considered a supreme being. After all, he's at the pinnacle of the divine star quasi-realm. What? The little girl was stunned. Peak of the divine star quasi-realm? No wonder the little princess was shocked. In his opinion, the overall strength of this universe wasn't strong, but the presence of a divine star quasi-realm competitor meant, to a certain extent, that it still had a certain level of strength. He's just a little old. If he were younger, he could have raised the power level of this universe. As the two whispered, Lin Nan sat in a chair, expressionlessly gazing at the arrivals. Wow, I didn't expect you to arrive so quickly. Great. I'm very satisfied with your speed. Xia Sanlin didn't know what else to say. At the same time, Xiaojian, seeing his father arrive, hurried over. Father, this is the man. He killed my brother Xiaoliu. You must avenge him. What? Xia Sanlin's companions were horrified. They hadn't imagined that a being who hadn't even reached the 9th order would dare to touch anyone from the Xia family, even brutally murdering their second son. This was simply unbelievable. After all, throughout the entire Misty Desire City, the Xia family was unrivaled. To say that Lin Nan was like an ant trying to shake a tree, a mantis trying to stop a chariot, an egg trying to hide a stone wouldn't be an exaggeration. Among these people, the one most heartbroken wasn't Xia Sanlin, but the Lord Dragon God. Unbeknownst to them, Xiaoliu was his chosen disciple, one he had originally planned to nurture, only to have him die prematurely. How could he accept this? Just as everyone was in a state of confusion, speculating about Lin Nan's background, Xiaojian whispered, Father, we're not acting rashly, this man is simply too wealthy. He then revealed Lin Nan's immense wealth. Everyone was again astonished, but this time, their eyes lit up, their greed for Lin Nan revealed without a trace. Xia Sanlin, momentarily consumed by the grief of his son's death, instantly forgot his sorrow upon hearing Xiaojian's words. He glared at Lin Nan and demanded, You were the one who ordered my son's murder. Xia Sanlin glanced around, his gaze briefly glancing at Weasel Eye. He was startled. Weasel Eye's name was well known to many. Seeing the faint red glow and undisguised primordial power radiating from him, everyone was stunned. They also realized that Weasel Eye, a legendary warrior, had successfully ascended to the 9th stage, becoming a true 9th stage legendary. I was wondering why you're so arrogant. It turns out you have a 9th stage legendary by your side. You're quite capable, Patriarch. Please stop wasting time with him. I'm deeply saddened by Xiaoliu's death. 9th stage legendary or not, I'll take care of him. Before Lin Nan could say anything, Weasel Eye burst into laughter. You're so arrogant, old bastard. You don't even take me seriously. However, I won't fight you today, because someone else wants to fight you. Oh? Someone else? Haha, let's be honest, who can fight me? The Lord Dragon God snorted disdainfully. The Xia family was one of the most powerful in the entire Misty Desire City, and as the Xia family's patron, his strength was not to be underestimated. He could even crush a group of powerful warriors. The reason he dared to speak disrespectfully to Itachi Lai was not because he looked down on the 9th-rank legendary, but mainly because he could sense that Itachi Lai had only been promoted to the 9th rank for a short time. Lin Nan couldn't help but clap. You're so arrogant. So, Itachi, who is that person you want to fight? Do they have a grudge? Reporting to the Master Apostle, of course we do. It's no exaggeration to say it's a mortal feud. The Dragon God was stunned when he heard this, but soon burst into laughter. Anyone who has a mortal feud with me has either been Barrett for decades down there, or been crippled by me and never recovered. I've never heard of anyone wanting to fight me again. The Master Dragon God spoke with deep disdain. But the next moment, his smile froze. To be more precise, the faces of almost everyone present froze. Suddenly, a figure emerged from an inconspicuous corner. As it walked to the center of the platform, the radiance of its body grew clearer and clearer. Everyone was startled. It was none other than the renowned legendary 9th rank, Master Luo Tian. Oh my god, it's Luo Tian, why is he here? He's my idol. No, wasn't it said that Luo Tian suffered a severe injury while exploring the other side of deep space, his strength plummeting to rank 8? But what's with this intense pressure? It's rank 9. You've returned to rank 9 again. The Lord Dragon God was stunned. If there really was someone who not only had a grudge against him but also survived, then there was indeed one. Even when he said that, he claimed no one, but a figure kept recurring in his mind, Luo Tian. As for their grudge, after Luo Tian returned from exploring the other side of deep space, he was severely injured and his strength plummeted. He happened to be encountered by the Dragon God, but instead of helping him, he wanted to kill the weakened Luo Tian to gain supreme honor. However, his plan failed. Although Luo Tian suffered a second severe injury, Athena fortunately passed by and saved him. Luo Tian, who had once been able to recover to the 9th level, was shackled by the second blow, and his realm was never recovered. Fortunately, he eventually broke through. This was the beginning of their feud. Luo Tian, also reaching the peak upon his breakthrough, looked at the Dragon God and smiled faintly. Respect the Dragon God, it's been a long time since we last met. The Dragon God felt a mixture of emotions, and suddenly he had the urge to escape. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.